And aloha once again, interdimensional, intergalactic, international friends. My name is Wolf, and you're tuned in for some more live tarot readings with Wolf. Thank you so much for joining in. For those of you who are here nice and early at the start of the broadcast, bonus points to you. I know several of you are our Patreon supporters, so thank you so much for being here, everyone. Go ahead and like this video if you haven't already yet. Liking the video on YouTube is actually useful, because then if people are like randomly searching up live tarot and you're liking the video, then it will recommend it to them. And that's how people randomly happen to synchronistically come across our broadcasts often when we're doing the live tarot readings. And now we're going to begin the broadcast over on the 1111 movement group, so stand by as we just get things all set up and ready to go there. And as we do that, we will go over the introduction and get into our first reading as soon as we are ready. And hey, if you're already here, maybe you already want to sign up for the Patreon. Maybe you tuned in last broadcast. Maybe you know the routine here. Let's get some momentum building so that we can get in as many readings as possible. So stand by. I'm going to start the broadcast in the 1111 movement group. And as we do that, then a bunch of people will tune in. For those of you in the YouTube, go ahead and drop an 1111 in the chat. Just confirm that everything is good. You guys can hear me okay. You're comfortable. Get some tea. Get some relaxing pants on. Whatever you need to do to be able to make this an enjoyable experience for you. Thank you again, everyone. Let's go. Starting the broadcast in the 1111 movement group. And away we go. And there we go. We are now live on the 1111 movement group. Thank you again, everyone, so much for joining in, for being here, for taking part in the Paradigm Shift Central experience that is live tarot readings with Wolf. I am your host, Wolf, aka Brendan, aka Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, Skull Babylon on YouTube. Welcoming you to another broadcast. For those of you who are here for the first time, a special shout out for you. If it is your first time, go ahead and drop a 222 in the comments and stand by for the initial introductions in terms of being able to give you an understanding of how we do the broadcast here, what to be able to expect from the readings, how you can be able to get a reading on air, and yeah, just overall what it is that we are doing here. What it is that it is. So what it is that we are doing some live tarot readings where we do tarot readings with the intention to be able to put out the message of show us what we need to see, the intention of show us what we need to see. We put that intention out to the universe, and through the cards, we work with them to be able to receive a message of insight, a message of clarity, a message of inspiration, to be able to help assist us on our journey as people who are here to be able to help change the world, to be able to help shift consciousness, to be able to help shift paradigms. So when we do these readings, as a little bit of a disclaimer, I do not do these readings as a fortune telling or a psychic reading. Everybody's kind of got their own style, and my style is, again, just being able to kind of keep it really grounded. And also when we do our readings, we do them for both individually, for people individually, as well as for the collective, for anybody who happens to be tuned in to the broadcast at this moment. So again, for those of you who haven't been here before, drop those 222 in the comments, and I'll give you a special shout out as we go over just a little bit of the information on how to be able to take part in these broadcasts and what to be able to expect. So shout out to Ayana, shout out to Stephanie, Monica, Misty, Marcia, Deanne, Lewis, Louise, Anson, and Michelle, and Monica, and Linda. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. So for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are returning viewers, do me a favor and please make sure that you're just keeping people comfortable within the space by welcoming them, encouraging them, supporting them. If you are tuned into this on the Facebook group, you can also jump over to watch on YouTube. There's a bit of a different audience over in the YouTube chat. So if you want to jump over there, please feel free to do that, knowing that the feed on the Facebook may get a little glitchy. Just as a heads up, this usually happens. The feed on the Facebook usually gets a little bit glitchy. So if it does, jump over to my YouTube at youtube.com/skullbabylon. The link for that is in the video. So in terms of how we do this, what we're going to do, here are your basic instructions. What we're going to do, we are going to choose a reading for someone straight from the chat. And then the additional readings that we do are going to be for people as they support on Patreon. And Patreon is a website where people can support artists with monthly micro contributions. I have my own Patreon, and you can see in the corner down below that we have our target goal of Patreon to be able to reach 200 Patreon supporters within the coming future. And you can see the link for the Patreon on the screen here. So literally, as you're watching this, go ahead and type that into the browser in another window, and then you can open it up. Or if you're on a mobile device, you can go there and check it out. And so what we're going to do our first reading for someone from the chat. And then the additional readings that we do are going to be for people as they add their support onto the Patreon. And hey, what's the deal with the Patreon? Why would you want to be able to support? I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go. But long story short, I'm a full-time conscious media creator. I've been creating conscious media for over 10 years. And doing this is part of my full-time passion, my full-time devotion. I provide conscious media creation coaching. I make a bunch of cool videos for the community to be able to help inspire people to choose to be the change they wish to see in the world. I'm the director for a project known as Paradigm Shift Central. And when we're doing these broadcasts, we're doing both tarot readings, but we're also helping people connect to the project, to the value that we are sharing, and to be able to help cultivate support for the Patreon, which just allows us to keep putting out even more value for the community as well. So there's a lot of awesome elements to what it is that we are doing here as a team. Give me 2 seconds here, team. I just have to fix a quick glitch on the Instagram. It looks like it just kind of froze on my end, but I may just kind of not worry too much about that. But again, I just want to be able to let people know that as we do this, we're going to do the first reading for someone from the chat. I'm going to give you the quick introduction for the instructions for that, and then the additional readings will be for people as they sign up to the Patreon. So thank you again, everyone, for going in. Here are your basic instructions. If you would like to be able to receive the first reading from the chat, I am going to give you a number, and the 8th person who enters this number into the chat will be the first person that we do the reading for. And again, just for those of you who might have come in a little bit late, these aren't psychic readings, these aren't fortune tellings. This is just like really about being able to put out a message to the universe of show us what we need to see, and then to be able to receive that message through the conduit of the cards and to be able to work together as a team. So, all right. If you haven't already yet, share this broadcast with your friends. These are the basic instructions in order to be eligible for a reading. Share this broadcast with your friends. I'm going to give you the number. You're going to enter that number in the next moment. And again, the 8th person to enter that number into the chat will be the first person that we do our first reading for tonight. Give me 2 seconds here. I just have to click a couple links on Instagram. Hopefully the Instagram feed's working okay. But we do have several people who are joined in here today on the YouTube and the Facebook. So thank you again, everyone, for joining in. And thank you to our Patreon supporters for already being here. Let's get right into the first reading. So thank you again, everyone, for just being here. And yeah, let's have some fun. We've been doing these broadcasts for a while. And the people who have been here before, like, they'll tell you, like, yeah, we get some like really cool vibes and a lot of inspiration. And that's something that I'm really passionate about being able to do and being able to help assist with the community. For those of you in the 1111 movement group, I know, again, I asked to share this broadcast. What you'll actually have to do is to click on my profile and then share it off my page. Since the 1111 movement group is a private group, you can't share it within the group, but you can go to my profile and share it from my personal profile on Facebook. And a huge shout out to Jessica, the admin for the 1111 movement group. I'm also one of the admins for the 1111 movement group. So for those of you in the 1111 movement group, thank you so much for joining in. And again, this is tarot reading, but it's also like community building as well. So let's get right into our first reading. This is the number that I'm going to give you. Be the 8th person to enter this number into the chat. Don't enter it in more than once, and allow yourself to just kind of breathe and take a breath before you enter it in. And we'll just kind of keep an eye on the chats as best as possible. And there's multiple chats here. So as the numbers keep coming in, I'll be looking at multiple chats here to be able to determine which one is the person that we are choosing for this one. Okay. Michelle, you're just asking. So yeah, for the Patreon, honestly, feel free to just stick around for the first reading. If it's your first time here, feel free to stick around. You can check out the Patreon a little bit later, but the Patreon has an introduction to my work. It shows stuff I've done, but you can sign up for that like a little bit later. But our objective here is to get, let's say, 3 Patreon supporters during this broadcast. So let's get right into this first reading. Let's focus on that. The number that I'm going to give you for everybody here, be the 8th person to enter this number into the chat. The number that I'm going to give you is the number 555. So as those numbers come into the chat, I'll be doing the counting, and there's multiple chats right now. There's like two Facebooks, YouTube, and Instagram as well. So stand by, everyone, as those numbers come in. So again, if you haven't already yet, drop a 555. Don't enter it in more than once. There's going to be a lot of people entering it, so I got to keep an eye on this as it comes in. Give me 1 second to focus here. All right, cool. Okay, so the first person that we are going to do our first reading for is going to be for Ayana Mati. So thank you, Ayana Mati, who is in the 1111 movement group. For everybody else, for dropping in the 555s, thank you as well. So we're going to get right into our first reading. And again, as we do this first reading, the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And then again, our objective with the Patreon is to be able to get at least 3 new signups for today's broadcast. However, do not sign up for the Patreon just because you want a reading. Sign up for the Patreon because you resonate with the value of the work that I'm creating and the community that we're building. And within signing up for the Patreon, you can sign up there at a $5 level just to be able to get like the base perks. But the asking level is at the $11 level or higher, and the $11 level or higher, a month contribution gives you the ability to be able to join as a leading member within our community, which is the Paradigm Shift Central community, which is a team of conscious media creators, to be able to have access to me as a conscious media creation coach. You can also get one of these beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals that we create and share within the community. And there's also the option for you to be able to join at higher levels to be able to receive additional one-on-one soul coaching with me, which is again like higher end like coaching. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can check that out, and you can decide that later. It doesn't have to be right now, but for everybody here, at the very least, when you get a chance, go ahead and check out my Patreon, even just to be able to learn a little bit more about the work I do and to see if you resonate with it. And if you do, then absolutely sign up for the Patreon at any time. And when you do, you can also get a private reading as well as an option. So I'll explain a little bit more about it as we go. But again, for Ayana Mati, go ahead and let me know in the comments if you are ready, and we're going to walk you through this. And for everybody here, do not worry if you're not chosen, because the cool way how we do this is that it's also like a collective reading. It's a community reading. So we're going to be working with Ayana. Let me just make sure I'm pronouncing that right. Ayana. And again, the message will be like for the collective as well. So again, if this is your first time here, feel free to just kind of like stick around, get comfortable, enjoy, and allow me to just give you again like an example of what it is that like we're providing, what it is that I do, who it is that I am, and again the community that we are building, which is a dope community of conscious creators and leaders. And we've got several of the people here in the chat who are already a part of this community. All right, Ayana, thank you so much for saying that you are ready. Again, for those of you who are here, if you would like to already just be the next person to sign up for the Patreon, we can get those new Patreon signups coming in as soon as possible, and then we'll get right into the next reading as soon as we're ready. Ayana, and for everybody here, let's just focus on this reading for now. I invite you to just be able to drop into your heart space. So everybody here, just invite you to close your eyes, put your hand on your chest. Just take a moment here to breathe. Just allow yourself to be in this space of gratitude. Again, just feeling the connection of community. All the people who are tuned in right now are part of the entire collective of people who have come here to help change the world, to help shift consciousness, to help shift the paradigm. So just feeling the gratitude of being surrounded by people who see and support the power of our heart and the shared vision that each of us carries. Ayana, as you are in this space of gratitude for everybody, as you are in this space of gratitude, Ayana, I want you to begin focusing on the intention of show me what I need to see. You can also focus on the intention of show us what we need to see, us being the community, us being anyone tuned into this broadcast right now. Ayana, I want you to speak this intention with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words. Take a few breaths here, Ayana. Focus in on this intention, and for everybody here, add your focus to it as well. And when you are ready, Ayana, type now into the chat, and then that is when we will pull the card for you. And take a few more breaths here as I'm just going to charge the deck to be able to help get ready for this first reading. Yes, the sound effects come with the broadcast. And so with each and every single breath, let us be another opportunity for us to be able to find the path back to being our best. For our best is when we choose to try, when we allow ourselves to open up that inner eye, when we allow the wisdom to come down through the sky, through the cards, so that we can know that it is in this path that we shall find the truth that is within our hearts, the power that is within our arts, the ways in which we can change the world through the sharing of our many arts. So as you breathe into this breath with me and with the team, let us continue to rise into all that we are here to be. So Ayana, when you are ready, if you haven't already yet, type that now into the chat and we shall pull a card and see what message the universe has. The sound effects. So just holding the intention there. Again, as soon as Ayana types in now into the chats, then we will split the deck and see what message the universe has. So Ayana, once you're ready, type now into the chats. I think there was a bit of a delay on it. So let me hear it. Let me just do more poetry. For patience is the path to bliss, and it is through reminding ourselves simply of this, that the now is now, as she types now into the chat, and it's in this eternal mist that we allow ourselves to continue to rise through the infinite bliss. So there's the split of the deck. The card is pulled. The card is down. Let me get one of the Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals to charge it up, and we shall see what the first card is that we have pulled today. So this is our first card that we have pulled, again, for both Ayana, but again, for anybody who is listening right now. So thank you again to everybody who is tuned in right now. The first card that we have pulled for tonight's reading for live tarot readings with Wolf is Swords 9. So take a look at that there, and give me 1 second here as I'm going to open up the deck. And again, the way how we do this, for those of you who are here for the first time, again, I'll allow you to just kind of like get a feel for what it is that we're creating. If you resonate with like just the style of what we're doing here, be sure to follow me on Facebook. You can send me a direct message at any point. Again, our intention here is to provide awesome value for the community, and again, to be able to help invite people to join on Patreon, and for people to be able to connect with the Paradigm Shift Central community and the team that we are building of conscious creators and leaders. So what we're going to do, I'm going to explain to you the image of the card, and then we're going to read from the book. This is usually how I do it. And then from there, I'm going to talk. I'm going to kind of like channel and free flow inspiration and just like messages that are coming through in this moment for you. And then from there, again, it will just like allow the conversation to be able to unfold. And so as we're doing this first reading, again, the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up on Patreon. And that's at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. You can see the link for that on screen. But again, if this is your first time just being introduced to me, you can check out the Patreon later. There's a lot of value there. But again, allow this to just be an opportunity for us to be able to get to meet, for me to demonstrate the value that we're creating, and yeah, for you to be invited to the amazing community and team that we are creating and building together. So with that said, Ayana, let us know that you're still here. And again, for anybody, as we're reading through this, just go ahead and drop 1111s in the chat if anything resonates. For those of you on the Facebook group in the 1111 movement, if you find that the feed is glitching, go to my YouTube channel. So the youtube.com/SkullBabylon. Go to that if the feed is skipping, which it does happen. So just a heads up on that. If you notice it's skipping, jump over to the YouTube. All right. So looking into this image again, Ayana, just let us know that you're still here. And again, for everybody here, thank you so much for joining in. Let's have some fun. All right. So for those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube. All right. So just explaining the visual image here. What do we got here? So this is the 9 of swords. So we literally obviously have 9 swords standing with the hilt facing towards the sky, facing towards the heavens, and literally like laid out on this checkerboard pattern, with each one kind of like closer and yet further away into the background. and in a way almost kind of like transparent. They're like not even solid swords, they're kind of like misty in some ways, and they're kind of, again, just like pierced through the board in various different patterns. And you got a little bit of stars up in the sky, some clouds off in the distance. Very, very interesting imagery. Obviously the checkerboard, that's a thing. So again, that's just the literal image of what it is on the card. And let's read a little bit more from the book as we dive deeper here. Thank you again, everyone, for joining in. I know we got several of our Patreon supporters. Lily, thank you so much. Lindsay, thank you so much. Mark, Shuzazu, Ryder, lots of Patreon supporters already here. So thank you for holding space. And for those of you who are new, let's have some fun. And yeah, allow yourself to understand that if you are here, this message is for you. So thank you for being here. All right. Let's drop into this. 9 of Swords. The image. In a checkerboard floor of tiles that loses itself in the impressive color of an evening landscape, stand 9 swords that seem to disappear in the haze of a distant world. Meaning, after man has let go of his limiting thought patterns and formulated the images of his world of thoughts into concrete form, he sees himself confronted with every creation of his mind. He sees himself confronted with every creation of his mind that next take form on the level of his emotional world. According to the degree of maturity and the intensity of imagination, they manifest increasingly in the material world, in the positive as well as in the negative sense. I'm going to reread that again. I just want to be able to read it clearly. After man has let go of his limiting thought patterns and formulated the images of his world of thoughts into concrete form, he sees himself confronted with every creation of his mind that next take form on the level of his emotional world. According to the degree of maturity and intensity of imagination, they manifest increasingly in the material world, in the positive as well as the negative sense. This level of development definitely concerns the conquering of thought in the sense of the ability to recognize and fully realize creative abilities. He who knows himself knows the world. He who acts in the best interests of the world will find that the world acts in the best interests also. The results of thinking for himself that bring about worry and care serve to put aside any remaining doubts and challenge him to be fully participant in the further development of his soul with every ounce of his being. I'm going to reread that. The results of thinking for himself that bring about worry and care serve to put aside any remaining doubts and challenge him to fully participate in the further development of his soul with every ounce of his being. An important condition for this is a good conscience, which lends to a fine feeling for the development of intuition and perceptive abilities. 9 of Swords astrological significance: Mercury, Uranus, Neptune, novile aspects. Keywords: creative expression, using the power of thought, processing and transformation of traumatic experience, release of outmoded thought patterns, development of intuition and perceptive abilities. Traditional meaning: concentration, bearing the consequences of one's own actions, overcoming conflict, release of worries and fears. Okay, all right. So again, as we get into this, let me just kind of, again, preface it by just reminding people that as we're doing this broadcast, this is still just practice for me. And so thank you again for holding space for what it is that we're creating here together. So for those of you who are listening to this message, this is a very important message to be able to receive. And so again, for Ayana, if you're here in the chat, let us know that you're here in the chat. But for anybody else, as I just kind of practice bringing this message through, drop those 1111s. Let me know how it resonates with you. If it's skipping on Facebook, jump over to YouTube. So the 9 of Swords with any swords card has a lot to do with the mind. The swords are often the imagery of the thought processes. And obviously when it is a card that's relating to 9, this kind of is a process where it's hey, the 10 is the degree of completion. The 10 is that culmination of a chapter. You've learned the lessons, you've got the what you've needed out of it, and now you're ready to kind of move into that next step. The 9 is basically the point where it's that final phase before the graduation. So it's like kind of like you're going through school, and before you graduate, before you finish high school, usually what happens? Oh, well, of course, there's exams. There's things that will arise. There's things that will test us. There's things that will challenge us. There's things that will put us in a position to be able to prove that we have been paying attention, and to not only try and test us in a way that seems like it's like, oh no, like I hate being tested, but more so to allow us to step into that place to prove what we are capable of. And so with this card, it's really, again, a card that's like encouraging us to be able to understand the power of our mind, but to also be able to understand that we ourselves are responsible for how we use the mind. And a lot of this is actually similar. We did another reading earlier today, which was like the initiation of air, which was all about kind of the thought processes. And so with this card, it's really about being able to check in with yourself and decide what thought processes are serving you, which ones are holding you back, and allowing yourself to kind of audit your own mind to be able to make sure that what you are bringing with you into this next chapter is what's going to serve you best. So if you're at a point, again, for Ayana, for anybody else, if you're at a point where, again, maybe you're feeling a little heavy, maybe you're feeling a little unworthy, maybe you're feeling like, you know, just like you can't do things right or something like that, those feelings, again, like those are coming often from like thought processes that have been like put into us by either someone else or by a circumstance that we may be in. And so it's important for us to, again, like I said, kind of audit the mind, basically go over it and kind of think to yourself, you know, how did I feel today? Where were my thought processes going? And which ones were kind of like making it harder? Which ones were kind of like serving as like, you know, like kind of like preventing me from opening up into that space of confidence, into that place of bliss? And again, being able to take responsibility for those thoughts, but then at the same time, to be able to meet them with kindness and compassion, and to be able to understand that, again, usually like the thought processes that are kind of like the negative thought processes, the ones that are self-limiting, are usually coming from a place of just like, somewhere within us that still needs a little bit of healing, somewhere within us that still needs a little bit more attention, somewhere that needs a little bit more love. And so oftentimes, like, even if we kind of like are kind of finding ourselves saying like, oh, like I'm not worthy and everything like that, that's actually the soul's way of being able to help us become more aware of those thoughts, so we can find places within ourselves where we can send more love, where we can be able to like pay attention more, where we can again be able to kind of like move past the looping and the egoic thought patterns, and to be able to instead shift more into the creative action, into the creative potential, and to, again, as we release outmoded ideas, outmoded thought processes, we are also opening ourselves up into more thought processes that are going to be serving us, into more thought processes that are going to be allowing us to step into more of our potential. And another thing with this is that as we get better at being able to become more aware of which thoughts are serving us and which thoughts may be holding us back, it also allows us to open up space into developing more with our intuition, to, again, kind of like, the way how I can kind of think of this is that like it's almost as if like, again, like our mind is like a radar dish, and we have to be janitors of it, meaning that every now and then that radar dish is going to get covered with shit. That radar dish is just going to get covered with like other people's opinions and society's expectations, and like mainstream media has like kind of like programmed these thoughts into us. And we, as an individual, it is our responsibility to be able to just kind of be like, okay, time to shovel the shit off my mind and to kind of like clear the space. And as we do this, it's like we're opening up the receptive abilities for our cosmic antenna, for our cosmic like ability to be able to receive more of that information that's going to be serving us in an intuitive way, that's going to be serving us in a way where we're going to be able to like navigate things through our heart, to be able to navigate things through the entire intelligence of our body. Because often, and you tell me 1111 if this resonates with you, that oftentimes it's hard for us to be present in our heart if we're too busy in our mind. And so if you feel like you're not fully present in your heart, then it's a good chance to kind of check in and just be like, well, how does my mind feel? What is my mind doing right now? And again, to know that there are always steps that you can take. And again, this is steps where you can, again, spend time out in nature, spend time with people who are going to be supporting your vision, be around conscious community, have access to a coach. Again, like, yes, you can work with me as a coach. That can be a thing where, again, you're checking in and you're just being like, hey, like, here's a thought that I had today that didn't really seem like it was serving me. Oh, okay, sweet. Let's kind of figure out where that came from, go back a little bit, and then we realize that its roots were not justified. And if that's the case, then again, we can do the work to be able to help the mind become more controlled within our own free will, to be able to help the thoughts that may kind of be running in a loop to lose their power. And so there's other stuff that I was talking about earlier in the broadcast today, and I don't just want to repeat it, but the basic idea, I'll just say this because I want you to be able to receive the value of this. With the thoughts, we have this ability of being, a lot of us don't realize how to think. Like, we haven't been taught how to think. It's like our brain is like this computer, but we haven't been taught how to use it. And when it's left unchecked, thoughts will just kind of operate and run randomly. And then that's when things can kind of create a bit of a conundrum. But one thing that you can do if you find your mind in kind of a looping pattern is to realize, and I'm just going to explain this quick because I explained it before earlier today, is that in the same way your mind has the ability to like speed things up and to thought patterns to come like loop, 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 you also have the ability to slow thoughts down. And so the next time you find yourself like with an intrusive thought, or again, a thought that could even be related to like a trauma, something from the past that you just find kind of looping, what I encourage you to practice doing is to practice slowing the thought down through your mind. You can literally do this, and maybe you just haven't done it before, and practice slowing it down so much to the point where it literally becomes like kind of like an inaudible hum, to the point where like the language becomes slow motion, and then it slows down so much that eventually it just becomes like a tone, and it turns into just a and then it turns into kind of like a white noise. And then it kind of becomes like this like softer thing that you can be able to release. You can actually do this with your mind. And a lot of people don't realize they can do this with their mind. And again, when left unchecked, the thoughts will just kind of like repeat, 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 repeat. But this card has a lot to do with like understanding that we must be masters of our mind. And I'm not expecting you to know exactly how to do it in every single situation, but it is your responsibility to be able to keep track of things within your mind and to be able to just kind of say, like, is this thought process serving me? How does my mind feel today? How is my mental health feeling today? And if things have been really busy, maybe that's, again, another opportunity for you to just be able to make sure that you take the time to go inward, to take the time to just spend time with yourself, to allow yourself to just focus on you for a bit, to allow yourself to practice quieting the mind. Our minds are so busy, so when we can practice quieting them, we can practice becoming more of the observer of our thoughts instead of just associating with the thoughts as they come in. So again, for Ayana and for anybody else listening to this, this is a card that really just invites us to be able to step into our creative expression, to step into our creative ability, to step into our creative power, not just as individuals, but literally for the work that we are doing to serve the collective, to really be able to fucking like manifest and get really focused with our thought. And that's the thing, like our thoughts operate in terms of focus. So where you're focusing on is where your thoughts will go. And you have to be able to understand that you can equally, as much as you accidentally may focus on negative things, quote unquote negative things, you can also get good at being able to focus on the positive things, to get good at being able to focus on like emotional feelings that bring up expressions of joy, that bring up feelings of joy. Any moment in your body, like any time, if you have had like an experience of joy that you really, really resonate with, I encourage you to remember what that feels like, and then to give your body permission to be able to experience that feeling in any moment through the power of your mind and through your ability to focus your will towards that direction. So this is something where, again, you know, like the thoughts are going to kind of be like the clouds going by the sky, and we ultimately are responsible for which ones we associate with, which ones we identify with, which ones we create our story out of, and to really be able to check in with ourselves and be like, well, what is the story that I want to create? and what thoughts are going to be serving. Instead of being like the thoughts where it's like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not I'm not worthy and stuff like that. What about the thoughts that are just like, yo, anything I focus on, I can manifest. Anything that like I want to create, like I have the permission to be able to do it. I want to be able to do the things that make my heart sing. I'm here to be able to help change the world through my unique, authentic expression. I want to be able to find other like-minded people who resonate, who vibrate at this similar level. Think of all the things that you want for yourself and focus on those. Focus on those. And again, as the other thoughts may come in, thoughts that aren't fully serving us, thoughts that may kind of come from like roots in the past, you can find ways of being able to gently transform them, meet them with compassion, and replace the focus on them with focusing on something that you are more excited about, more passionate about. And doing this on a regular basis develops the momentum, develops the routine that allows you to just continue to ride this like bliss train into the future. And it doesn't mean that stress won't arise. It doesn't mean that conflict won't exist. But again, it's how you relate to it. It's how you allow it to kind of occupy the space within your mind. And there may be something that kind of stresses you out. And then again, like it could be something where it's like, okay, I'm going to spend 5 minutes thinking about it. Okay, done. And now I'm going to focus on other things. And then you kind of like move into that next stage where, again, you're taking responsibility for where you're focusing. And as long as you're just like not getting into this process where you're just kind of like either unconsciously or unintentionally just kind of like filling your thoughts with thoughts that aren't fully serving you, then you're going to start finding that that opening of space is going to bring in more opportunity for creative expression, creative ideas, creative intuition, and also, again, perceptive abilities. So just kind of wrapping up the card here. And again, for those of you in the 1111 movement group or anywhere else, drop those 1111s in the chat. Let me know how this resonates with you. But again, the Nine of Swords is a very, very powerful card that really just encourages us to take responsibility for our mind as we get ready to move into this next chapter. What do you want to bring with you? What do you want to leave behind? So maybe those self-limiting thought patterns, again, meet them with compassion because they in themselves have given you a bit of guidance to be able to help you see the power of your own mind in order to be able to choose like what it is that you wish to focus on moving forward. He who knows himself knows the world. He who acts in the best interest of the world will find that the world acts in the best interest also. The results of thinking for himself that bring about worry and care serve to put aside any remaining doubts and challenge him to fully participate in the further development of his own soul with every ounce of his being. An important condition for this is good conscience, which lends to a fine feeling for the development and intuition of perceptive abilities. So yeah, again, we need you. We need you on the front lines to be able to have that focus, to have that clarity, to have that feeling of joy. Like you can literally feel joy in any moment. You can give your body the permission to be able to do that and cultivate that through everyday actions, through again, like it's the holistic approach, through getting good sleep, through exercising, through eating good food, through spending time with people, through turning into broadcasts like this that are going to help like reinforce important messages of inspiration, being in that community space, being in that resonance that is going to support this vision, opposed to ones where it's like just culture where it makes you feel like shit, or it's like being talked down to by other people who don't see your value. Again, separate yourself where you can from that. Surround yourself with an ecosystem that's going to support your visions. Cultivate the work on the inside, work on the inner processes, practice meditation, practice like even just like mantras, affirmations, listen to other teachers, work with coaches, work with me if you want. Do whatever it is that you need to do to allow your mind to be like the best it can be going into 2020 as we get ready to do this, because we need you. We need you here. We need you here. And again, no shame if you find yourself dealing with anxiety, depression, OCD, anything like that. No shame in doing that, but just know that there is help you can get. There are coping mechanisms that you can use. There are people that care for you. There are people that love you. You're not the only person to go through this, but you are responsible for how you deal with it, for how you relate to it. And there absolutely is 100% hope. So again, this is a very, very powerful card as we just kind of wrap this card up. And Ayana, I saw your 1111 in there. Thank you as well for letting us know that this resonates for you. Again, this is a very simple but powerful card that really just encourages us to bring in more responsibility for the thoughts that we carry, the thoughts that we focus on, the focus that we are focusing on. And again, just being able to like bring in as much like opportunity for like inspiration, creative expression, and to really pass those tests as they arrive, as we get ready to move into that next level, that 10 from 9 to 10 of our own evolution, to be fully present with the work that we are doing on ourselves. Again, I kind of like how it says there that to any remaining doubts and challenging him to fully participate in the further development of his soul with every ounce of his being. So again, it's time for us to be able to fully participate in the further development of our soul with every ounce of our being. And again, every ounce of our being is going to be amplified when we don't have like the initial like kind of like limiting thought patterns that have been there up until the past. And again, to be able to meet those limiting thought patterns with compassion, to be able to release them and to be able to say like, hey, thanks for helping me like be who I needed to be, but you've served your purpose and I can kind of like move on now, and to get ready for like that next chapter. So again, traditional meaning: concentration, bearing the consequences of one's own actions, overcoming conflict, release of worries and fears. So release of worries and fears, making room for creative expression, stepping into our potential. You can do this. You have the skills. Reach out where need be. Talk to me if you want more assistance, and we can dive a little bit deeper with that. Reach out to other coaches who you might resonate with. Go get your fresh air. Go get your exercise. Spend time doing meditation, journal, gratitude, all of those little things. Get good food in your system. Practice resilience. These things add up, and you can get to that point where your mind is like a sharp edge. Your mind is like a sharp sword, and that's going to be an experience that's just going to allow you to like bring more of that joy and that just like that gratitude into your life. And again, if you're not there yet, absolutely no problem, no shame, but understand that there is always like, you are here to experience joy. You are here to experience the ecstasy of life. And again, there is always ways, there's always a move you can make. And maybe that next move that you can make is, again, hanging out with us tonight and just being around the inspirational vibes that we're putting out. And then after that, maybe it's doing a candle meditation before going to bed and just practicing calming your mind. And maybe tomorrow it's a little bit of exercise first thing in the morning, going for a walk, things like that. So 9 of Swords, super awesome sword. Ayana, leave another comment in the chat of how this resonates with you if you wish, and we'll read it on screen. And again, for anybody else, thank you as well. Drop those 1111s in the chat, how this resonates with you, and we'll also read those on screen. And yeah, for anybody who would like to be able to receive the image of this card and the write-up, I can send you a picture of that. All you have to do is send me a direct message and I can send that over to you as well. So again, 9 of Swords, our first reading for tonight. So thank you again, Ayana, our first reading for all of us who are tuned in here today, which again is like both for Ayana, but for anybody who's tuned in, because again, there's a huge message there for all of us. Like, we can't just be like, oh, like, this is my life now. Like, no, you have to be able to say, this is my life, but here's where I'm going. And here's what I'm moving through, and here's what I'm working through, and here's what's making me stronger, and here's what's helping me focus more, and here's what's teaching me empathy, and here's what's giving me the skills. So let's sharpen the swords of our mind and really rise and hold those up with inspiration and courage together as a team. So 9 of Swords, great card there. Awesome. Leave your comments down in the chat how this resonates with you, and allow me just again to be able to take a second here as we take a little bit of an intermission, and we'll get right into our next reading as soon as we have our first person signed up for the Patreon tonight. So again, for those of you who are here, thank you so much for joining in. If this is your first time here, go ahead and drop a 222 in the chat. We're going to do our next reading for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. Our objective is to be able to get 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, Patreon is a website where you can support artists with monthly micro contributions. The work that I do for the community is work that I've been doing for over 10 years. I'm a full-time conscious media creator, the director for a project known as Paradigm Shift Central, which is a team of conscious media creators and leaders. And again, you are invited to be a part of this community simply by you watching this. You're invited, and you can check the links in the info below to be able to connect to me on Instagram, and you can also send me a direct message if you would like a link to the team chat as well. So Ayana, thank you again for leaving the comments of gratitude in the chat. Thank you for being here, and again, just for being present with the message that we had tonight. So again, for those of you who are here, we're going to get right into our next reading for the team, for the individual and the team, as we have people signing up for the Patreon. And our objective is to get 3 Patreon signups tonight. The Patreon is, again, a monthly micro contribution, and I only want you to sign up for the Patreon if you resonate with my work. Meaning, don't just sign up for the Patreon just because you want a tarot reading. I appreciate that. However, we're creating the container where people are signing up to be able to support the work that I'm doing in a continuation, and to be a part of the community, and to be able to say fuck yes to what it is that we are creating here, and the value that we have to share, and the value that we have to offer as well. So thank you again, Christina. Thank you for leaving that comment. Christina, I'm glad you were synchronistically able to join here. So let me just clarify again. When you sign up to the Patreon at the $11 level or higher, what you can get is a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, which I hand make for people in the project. Jessica, you're asking, where do you sign up? The link for that is at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. That's a link you can see on screen right here. So where it says join on Patreon for readings and rewards and coaching, that's the link. You can literally type that in, and I type that into the chat. So thank you as well, everyone. I appreciate that. And again, this is energy like me putting out here. This takes work. Like, this is like literally like, so thank you for holding space. I appreciate it. So, and again, like, we're able to provide the value of this for the entire community because of the Patreon supporters, because of people who are here to be able to help say like, fuck yes, Brendan, the work that you do is awesome. You provide so much value for the community. I've been watching you for years. Your free hug videos inspire me and give me hope, and I'm proud to be a part of the community. So thank you to everyone who is here supporting not just the work that I do, but when you support on Patreon, you're supporting yourself, and you're supporting the entire community. So thank you again, everyone. So again, with the Patreon, when you sign up at the $11 level, which is like a super affordable level, you can get a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, which is like an item that I make within the project exclusive for you. And you can use it as like a meditation tool. You can use it as a dance toy. You can use it as like a spell casting one. You can use it for Reiki. You can use it for energy work. It's as magical as you wish to see. In addition to that, you also have access as a leading member within our Paradigm Shift Central community, which is our private community. So if you're watching this, you're already a part of the community. But if you want to be a leading member, sign up to the Patreon. And again, at the $11 level, you're getting a shit ton of value. And the reason I do that is because I'm here to help people. And with that, you also get access to me as a private conscious media creation coach, which is worth over like $200 a month. And you get access to our private community space. You can join our on-air broadcasts. This Wednesday, we have our Dream Class broadcast, which is where we practice talking about dreams, dream experiences, stories, practices, and we support each other. Very, very cool. We've been doing that for like several years now. And again, when you sign up to the Patreon at the higher levels, there's also the option to work with me one-on-one as a coach, as a soul coach. So there's literally an option for that at an $100 level, but then there's also a $300 level, and then there's also like a $1,000 level. And for those of you who may not be entirely familiar with like the value of having a coach, again, I understand that it's not going to be for everyone, but for those of you who are at a position where you're just like, yo, like, I would love to be able to have someone constantly in my corner who I can send voice messages to anytime and just be like, yo, Brendan, like, I woke up today and this is what I did and I'm kicking ass and I'm here to be able to just like follow through with my intentions, and thank you for holding me accountable. Let's jump on a call later today and I'll tell you more about it, and I'll be like, fuck yes, I'm here to support you. Let's talk more about it and keep you dialed in and keep you focused and keep you feeling as best as possible for the things that you're working on. So whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're just a person navigating life within this human vehicle, having a coach is incredibly valuable. So that's an investment for yourself. So if you want to sign up for that, that is, again, I only just started redoing that. I used to do it in the past, stopped for a while, and now I'm doing it again because I want to be able to do it. And again, in doing that, that is a super powerful way for you to be able to get additional support, as well as for you to support me, because when you sign up at those higher levels, it allows me to be able to support additional creators at a more affordable rate. So my conscious media creation coaching, like, that in itself is worth over $200 a month, but I make it available for people at $11, and it's like a sliding scale. So again, when you join on the sliding scale, you can start off at 11, but hey, if you join and you're just like, holy shit, Brendan, this is a shit ton of value, this is awesome. And then eventually you can be like, yeah, I'm going to increase this to $50 a month. Absolutely. Please feel free. So again, we got several of our Patreon supporters already here. Lily is one of our Patreon supporters. Diane is one of our Patreon supporters. Mark, Ryder, so many of our Patreon supporters are already here. So thank you again to all of our Patreon supporters, and please feel free to like reiterate the value of what it is that we are creating here together. And again, we're going to do our next reading for our first Patreon supporter tonight. And again, even if you don't sign up today, you can still sign up later. You can get a reading from me later, but you can also, again, be able to get a reading on air now, and you can ask me any questions. Doing the one-on-one readings is like a value in itself, because that's like one-on-one, super present, we're talking back and forth. That's really cool. But again, there's a lot of value in just being able to get the readings on air when we do them, and we're like sharing it with the team as an experience. So for those of you who are here, let me know if you're ready to sign up for the Patreon. And even again, if it's your first time here, you can check out my Patreon later. Again, I don't want you to sign up for the Patreon if you're just signing up for the tarot reading. The tarot reading is an incentive to be able to invite you to support on the Patreon, because you resonate with the value that I'm creating, and you appreciate the work that we are doing, and you want to be a part of this community at a deeper level, and you want that accountability, you want that support, you want to be around like-minded people. You maybe, again, like if you're thinking about creating conscious media, if you're thinking about creating your own Patreon, that's some of the things that I am here to be able to help with. So again, we're going to do a next reading for people in the broadcast. We have like over like 500 people tuned in right now. Maybe we have 5,000 people tuned in right now. I like to do the broadcast as if we have 5,000 people tuned in, even if there's 5 people tuned in. But again, we're going to do our next reading for the next person as they sign up for the Patreon, or even for if one of our Patreon supporters wants to increase their pledge, then we can also do a reading for the entire community. That's also the option. So again, Christina, thank you for your comment. Christina says, definitely signing up. I need more of you in my life. Christina, honored to be able to be here and to be of service. And yeah, like Christina, and that's the thing, like when you sign up onto the Patreon, it's not just me, like it's other creators. Like we're building a badass team of like real world Jedi, of like, again, light guardians, shifters. It's this story that we are weaving together. And that's where like even these light guardian crystals, like these are part of the story. Like these are basically like mini Excaliburs. And so this is about being able to like reclaim our sword, and for each of us to be able to like step into that power, to step into our own divinity as like kings and queens. It's like super, super powerful. I noticed the feed on the Instagram is kind of glitching out. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to tune in on YouTube, where it's much more smooth and everything like that. So, so Christina, if you feel called, Christina's saying, that's amazing. Christina, it sounds like you're eager to be able to sign up. So if you want to sign up to the Patreon, it literally only takes 3 minutes, and you can sign up really like right now, and we'll do the next reading as soon as possible. And even if you want to do a private reading, another like in place of that, that's an option too. And yeah, either way, we'll wait for you to be able to sign up. And again, our objective tonight is to be able to get 3 Patreon signups. And again, and just for those of you who are listening right now, like this is a really important part within my journey, because me putting in the work for the Patreon and inviting people to be able to support is also me getting ready to begin applying for our a studio apartment. So basically, like I'm working on getting a studio apartment where I'm going to be able to live and like work full time, where I plan on like visualize this with me. Like, yeah, I'll have my bedroom, I'll have my kitchen and everything like that. But then I'll have like a separate room with like a green screen set up, lighting set up, my computer. I'll be doing broadcasts out of it. And it will just be a way for me to be able to like pump out content like so fucking awesome. And that's, again, like something why I'm just like so passionate about being able to like put in the work right now. Like this is me putting my nose to the grindstone. And again, yes, it's about being able to invite people to the Patreon, but it's also legitimately about being able to provide value. And for people, Christina, like you, who are happen to be tuning in, for us to be able to say like, yo, like there's a community here, there's a team here, and you're invited to be a part of it. So I think Christina is actually in the process of signing up right now. So we'll wait for that to kind of go through. But again, for anybody else here, you can sign up right away too. And again, as soon as we get that next Patreon person signed up, we'll be ready to go. And again, for those of you who are in the Patrons, who are Patreon supporters already, thank you. And again, for the Patreon supporters, if you're in a position to do so, even just for a few months, if you feel like you're just like, yo, Brendan, you've already given me a shit ton of value and I want to increase my pledge to like $20 for the next 3 months, please feel free to do that, because as I'm applying for apartments, that's going to allow me to just be able to be like, see, look, like here's my income, here's the value. And so, yeah, your support in all forms is equally appreciated. And some people have done that. Some people in the Patreon have literally like increased their Patreon pledge within like just for like a little bit over the next few months and everything like that as we continue to build the income. So, yeah, thank you again, everyone. And yeah, super, super excited just to be able to have the support of amazing people such as yourself and to, again, be continuing to grow the team each and every single day that we do these broadcasts. So, all right, what comments do we got in the question? I'm just kind of reading the comments in YouTube. Ryder and Mark and Diane, thank you so much. It's good to see everyone here. Literally, like everyone here is like Patreon supporters in the YouTube chat. Ariel, thanks for joining. Ariel, if you're tuned in. For those of you on YouTube, if you haven't already yet, like this video. And again, we'll get right into our next reading as soon as possible. And again, honestly, if anybody here, if you're just like, yo, Brendan, like I want to sign up for that higher level coaching, please like ask me about it or go ahead and do it. Because again, like if one person is signed up for the high-end coaching, like that allows me to just be able to have like so much more ability to be able to keep putting focus on like, again, providing like high value for the people who are signed up at any level as well. So having like a few people signed up at the high level coaching is a huge boost for the entire team. So, all right. Okay, I'm just gonna do something here on my Instagram since it's glitching out a bit. I just want to be able to see if I can fix this real quick. I think it's because, yeah, it's because I ran out of space on my phone. So I just gotta do like a quick behind the scenes thing. So if anybody here needs to just like take a coffee break, please feel free to go do that. And again, I think Christina is in the process of signing up for the Patreon. For those of you who are in the 1111 movement group, if it's glitchy, jump over to the YouTube and you can see my YouTube link up there in the corner. So stand by, everyone. I'm just kind of doing some back end work right now just to be able to get things all ready as we get ready to go into our next our next reading. But again, for those of you who are here, oh, did we get it? Did that go through? Awesome. Yes, Christina, thank you so much for signing up. All right, we're gonna wait for Christina to get back into the chat. And thank you, D Flake, for your comments. I am one of the admins within the 1111 group, and I do have Jessica's permission and blessing. This is not spam. This is awesome, high-value content, while also inviting people to help support the work that we're doing so that we can keep providing high-value content. But thank you for keeping an eye open for people who legitimately are posting spam. I appreciate that. All right, give me 2 seconds here. I'm just kind of cleaning up some space on my phone so that I can get into doing the broadcast on Instagram again. And Christina just signed up for the Patreon, so we're gonna allow her to just join back in, and maybe she'll be on the YouTube. I'm not entirely sure. Christina, once you're back in here, let us know, and I'll be ready to go on Instagram. And I'm gonna restart the Instagram feed as well, so the timing on that actually works out. So thank you, Christina. And again, for those of you on the Facebook group, if it's glitching, just go ahead and jump over to the YouTube broadcast. Give me 2 seconds here. Again, I'm just doing some back-end tech stuff. Christina, keep an eye open for your chat wherever you are. Okay, 1 second, team. 1 second. All right. So again, once we have Christina back in the chat, I'm going to again just be able to touch base with her. Okay. All right. Hang tight, everyone. I appreciate you standing by. Again, I just have to restart the broadcast. All right. Christina, if you are in the feed, let us know. And I think they're probably just jumping back in a second. Is Christina in the YouTube chat? I'm looking for Christina in the 1111 movement group. I'm just gonna direct message Christina right now, and I'm just gonna invite her into the YouTube chats. Okay. All right, and for everybody here, once we know Christina is here, please feel free to, again, just like send her a huge thank you as well for adding their supports. All right, hang tight, everyone. I'm gonna restart the broadcast in the next moment. All right, 1 second. Okay. All right, 1 second, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Just restarting the broadcast on Instagram. And let's see, is Christina in the chat? Once we have Christina in the chat, we'll be able to do that next reading for her. Aaron, for those of you who are tuning in, the readings are available for people as they sign up to the Patreon. We go over the explanation of what the Patreon is earlier in the broadcast. But again, Patreon is a place to be able to help support artists with monthly micro contributions. And I have my own Patreon that's supporting the work that I do for the community as a conscious media creator, and there's a lot of awesome value through the Patreon that we have to share. All right, stand by, everyone. I'm gonna restart the broadcast and I'm not exactly sure if Christina is back in the chat yet. So, oh, there she is. Okay, sweet. Christina, thank you so much for adding your support to the Patreon. Christina signed up at the $22 level. So let's give a huge thank you to Christina for adding their support. For everybody here, just go ahead and just be like, yes, Christina, we love you. And Christina, if you want to, Christina, you can also jump over to the YouTube chat. Like, Christina, I guarantee you, if you jump over to the YouTube chat, like, it's a little bit more active there. And that's like where a lot of our other Patreon supporters are. So you can watch on there if you have a YouTube account and you're ready to be able to jump over there. But I assure you, Christina, if you jump over to the YouTube channel, then like, first of all, it won't be glitching and you'll get to like hang out with some of our fellow Patreon supporters. So there we go. All right. Stand by, everyone. I'm just going to relaunch the broadcast on Instagram, and we'll get right into this next reading for Christina, our newest Patreon supporter. All right, hang tight. And what I may actually do is I may restart the broadcast in the 1111 movement group. All right, hang tight, everyone. All right. Aloha to those of you on Instagram. Click the link in my bio to be able to join in on YouTube. And we are just getting ready to do our next reading here. And Christina, let me know exactly where you are in the chat. If you're okay just hanging out on Facebook, that's totally cool. Whatever works for you. And again, if you're jumping over to the YouTube, we'll keep an eye open for you there. For those of you who are just tuning in on Instagram, click the link in my bio to join the rest of the squad over on YouTube. And again, for those of you who are joining in, if you're just joining in, sit back, relax, and allow yourself to be able to just like get a feel for the work that I do. And the readings are available for people as they sign up to my Patreon. And again, my Patreon is at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. And again, signing up onto the Patreon isn't just for the reading, it's to be able to like get the entire value of the support that we are offering for you as a conscious individual on this journey that we call life, and for you to be able to connect to the Paradigm Shift Central community, which is a project that I've been directing for over 10 years, which is a community of badass individual creators and leaders. So Christina, let me know exactly which chat you're okay staying in. If you're okay staying in the Facebook chat, just confirm that you're ready. And what you also have, Christina, I don't even think I mentioned this, so this is a bit of a bonus. You have the option to be able to receive a reading from either the Lightworker Oracle deck or the Ananda Tarot deck. So whichever one resonates with you is one that you can choose. So go ahead, Christina, and let us know. And once we get confirmation from you there, we will begin this next reading. And I'm actually going to... I am going to restart. Should I do that? Should I restart the broadcast on the 1111 feed? I think I'm going to do that because it glitches and I don't like it when it glitches. Oh, okay. All right, Christina, you're here in the 1111 movement group. We'll just keep it there. I'm not going to restart it. That's cool. All right. Perfect. All right, Christina is ready. Christina, I can see your comments coming in. So again, if you haven't already typed in the chat, there's a bit of a delay. Lightworker Oracle deck. Lightworker, please. Perfect. Let's get right into this. So again, everyone here, for those of you who are tuned into this broadcast, give a huge thank you to Christina for just being able to say yes to signing up to the Patreon and for getting involved with the community. And again, just for adding the support. Christina signed up at the $22 level, which is super, super appreciated, super awesome. So thank you, Christina, for, again, and especially this is the first time that you're tuned in, which is like, that's so brave of you to just be able to be like, yo, I want more of this in my life. Fuck yes. Like, that is so cool. So, all right. Awesome. Jaina, I can see your comments as well. So for those of you on the 1111 movement group, if it gets too glitchy, if it starts like pausing and skipping, go to the YouTube channel to be able to tune in. Yo, Joseph, thanks for joining in, dude. All right, let's get right into this reading. So, as we do this second reading for Christina, our newest Patreon supporter, we can also, again, keep our eye open for a next Patreon supporter who we will do our next reading for. And again, you can find the links for that at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton. But again, if you're here just for the first time, let this just be an opportunity for you to be able to like see the value that we're creating, and we can talk a little bit more about the Patreon as we go. So, all right. For those of you in the YouTube chat, thank you for hanging out and for just holding space and for keeping it civil. And yeah, let's get right into this next reading. So, Christina, our newest Patreon supporter, signed up at the $22 level. Thank you so much. Christina, I just want to be able to invite you to just take a few deep breaths here. Just allow yourself to connect with this space of gratitude. Just allow yourself to feel the presence of this team, of this community, of this collective, of other people, of fellow light workers, of light guardians, of shifters, people who are here to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion. So just allow yourself to be in this space of gratitude. Take some nice, gentle, deep breaths. Just being present in this feeling. Christina, as you continue to breathe here, I want you to begin focusing on the intention of show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see, us being the community, us being people who are tuned into this broadcast. Christina, I want you to focus on this intention with your, and I want you to focus on it. I want you to speak it with your heart, to speak it with your mind, and to speak it with your words. You can even kind of like whisper it. You can just kind of be like, show me. Like literally, go ahead. And as you focus on this intention, Christina, from this place of gratitude, when you are ready, take a few more breaths here and type now into the chats. And as you type now, we'll split the deck, and I'm just going to charge it up a little bit more. So. And as the light continues to shine through this story, let it be an opportunity for us to be able to rise into our glory. For as if we dispel the ancient myths of our path, we will see what it is that is truly here to last. Beyond greed and beyond envy, we shall rise into certainty with love and comprehension of all that can truly be. The gifts that are meant for this world are the ones that we carry within our heart, are the ones that we will change through the power of this art, of being present in this moment, of being able to say yes to all that is, of opening our hearts and our minds to the gift of this ancient bliss. So Christina, when you are ready, type that now into the chat, and we shall pull a card and see what message the universe has. Breathe. Just breathe. Allow yourself to be. Lead with the heart, and you shall see all the gifts that are on this path, all the stories that are here to be unwrapped, all the presents that are in this presence of a feeling that will always last. So continue to rise into this moment as you continue to be present and truly own it. And Christina. Okay, Christina, I think, yeah, it's skipping on Facebook. Let's rewind here a bit. Christina, it's skipping. That is a cue to jump over to the YouTube. Again, I'm gonna restart the feed on the Facebook group. Again, I don't control the skipping. Once I move into my new apartment, it'll be like a better connection. Okay, watch on YouTube. Don't worry, we're still in that space. Watch on YouTube, Christina. If you're seeing this, where it won't skip, it only skips on the Facebook. So again, we're just gonna take another moment here. All right, once we have Christina back on board, we'll just kind of reroute, and I want to be able to make sure that she is here, and we'll be able to conduct it there. So it's all right, Christina, no worries, these things happen. 'Tis the way of the internet. And we'll make do. For our Patreon supporters, we're infinitely flexible. Yeah, Jaina, sometimes it skips for people, sometimes it doesn't. But again, I'm going to restart the feed in the 1111 movement group. And I am, when it restarts, usually it's good for like, I don't know, an hour, and then it gets all skippy. But again, I honestly, Jaina, I encourage you to even just jump over to the YouTube. So, thanks, Mark. Thanks for your comment. I'm excited for the new apartment too. All right. Okay, hang tight, everyone. We're just giving Christina a chance to be able to get herself situated. And if she is in the YouTube chats, then we'll catch up with her there. And then we'll just kind of redo the process. That's okay. It's not a big deal. All right. For those of you tuned in on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to join in on YouTube. And give me 2 seconds here as we're just making sure that things are all coordinated. All right. Hang tight, everyone. We're just making sure that yeah, Christina, go over to the YouTube, and once you're there, I'm gonna restart the broadcast in the 1111 movement group. That way, so it's not skipping. So if you can hear this, Christina, we'll walk you through it again. No worries. We'll do our best to be able to hold space for you. So thank you again to everyone tuning in. Again, for everybody here, please feel free to go ahead and keep the Patreon signups coming. Our objective is to be able to get 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. And again, the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon, and our current reading is for Christina, our newest Patreon supporter. So we're just giving Christina a second to be able to jump over to the YouTube chat and and again, thank you everyone just for hanging out. So all right, if anybody has any questions about the Patreon, please feel free to ask me either just right now or ask me a little bit later. If you're interested in signing up for the Patreon, again, you can do that at any point. And again, through the Patreon, yes, there is the offer for you to be able to work with me as like the higher end values as like a one-on-one soul coach. And I use that term. I'm not trying to sound like it's like cliche or something like that. It's just kind of more of like a generic term, like for kind of like a life coach, I guess you can say. So to help you on your journey. All right, Christina, thank you so much for joining. Christina, I'm gonna just restart the broadcast in the 1111 movement group. For those of you in the 1111 movement group, jump forward to the YouTube. I'm gonna restart the watch party, which will help with the skipping and allow more people to be able to join in. So give me 2 seconds here, and I'm going to do that in 1 second. And if you guys are so patient, just give me 2 seconds here, because I just want to be able to I just need to step away just for 2 seconds in order to just be able to do something real quick, and then I'll be back to be able to sit down for the next hour. I'm sure you can understand. I'll be right back, Christina, and then we'll get right into your reading. Thank you very much. All right, we are back once again. Okay. All right, team. So with that said, let's get ready to do our next reading. I'm just going to restart the broadcast on the 1111 movement group so that more people can be able to tune in, so that more people can receive the message that we are sharing here together. So 1 second here. And again, I'll do my best to be able to keep an eye on the multitude of chats that we have. And we're going to get into this next reading. So Christina, just confirm for me that you're ready for this next reading. And we'll begin it once everyone is all good to go. All right, restarting the broadcast in the 1111 movement group. Hang tight, everyone. All right, aloha to those of you who are in the 1111 movement group who are just tuning in. We're just about to get into our next reading for our newest Patreon supporter, which is how people can get readings on air by adding their support to the Patreon, which is a link that you can see on screen to support the work that I do for the community. And you're supporting on there, not just for a reading, but again, because you support the value of what it is that we are creating as a community, for the work that I do, for being able to connect with the community, to be able to have access to me as a conscious media creation coach. Lots and lots of cool value. If this is your first time here, go ahead and just get yourself comfortable. We're about to get into our next reading for our newest Patreon supporter. And again, you can allow yourself to just kind of like experience what it is that we're creating here. So Christina, just confirm for me in the YouTube chat that you are ready, and we'll get right into this. And again, for those of you who are here, the way how we do this, thank you, Christina, I see your comment. The way how we do this, and Christina, I'm going to communicate this to you as well, because maybe I'm not sure if you were here when we said it the first time. The way how I do these readings, I don't do these readings as like a fortune telling, and I don't do them as a psychic reading. The way how we do this reading is to be able to set the intention of show us what we need to see, and then to be able to allow through that intention a message to come through the cards for us to be able to work as a conduit, as a channel, for us to be able to practice bringing that message into the forefront of our consciousness, to be able to help assist us in creating clarity, inspiration, and insight to assist us on our journey. So with that said, Christina, what we're going to do, I'm going to guide you just through like a little bit of a drop in into a space of gratitude, which maybe I think that's where it glitched out last time. And from there, I'm going to invite you to speak and hold the intention of show us what we need to see. And then from there, you're going to type now into the chat, and then we're going to pull the card for you. And that's the way how we do it here. And it works really well. And again, for those of you who have been here before, you've seen the experience. And again, for those of you who are here for the first time, go ahead and drop a 222 in the comments. For those of you in the 1111 movement group, if it gets glitchy at any point, you can jump over to the YouTube, watch on YouTube. I'm posting the link for that in the comments. It will probably get glitchy for some of you, but again, if it's working on Facebook, go ahead and just stay there. And if you would like to be able to get a reading on air, go ahead and check out my Patreon. You can sign up there to be able to add your support. And again, I also offer the higher level coaching for those of you who are interested as well, who can again be able to like work with me more for the one-on-one stuff. So for those of you who are here, hang tight. We are doing this reading for, again, our friend Christina. But again, the way how we do this is that this is also like a collective reading. So if you are here, this message is for you. So with that said, Christina, you are ready. We're using the Lightworker Oracle deck. Christina is our newest Patreon supporter who signed up at the $22 level. So again, let's just give a nice thank you to Christina if you haven't already yet. And Christina, with that said, let's just practice dropping into that heart space first and foremost. So for everybody here, just inviting you to be able to practice holding space with us together. Let me get a drink here. Okay. So for everybody here, let's take a moment here, just close your eyes, connect with your breath. Allow yourself to relax. Christina, I just want you to be able to give your nervous system permission to relax. And that's literally something that can be done just with the thought. You can just be like, oh, okay. Nervous system, I give you permission to relax. And then you take a few more breaths to just accentuate that permission. Nice big inhale, nice gentle exhale. Any audible sigh or noise you want to make at this point, Christina, for anybody listening to this, please feel free. Do a few more of those. Inhale. Nice big exhale. Just allow yourself to be in the space of gratitude for everybody here, feeling the connection of like-minded, like-hearted people, fellow humans on this journey, and just honoring each and every single one of us for wherever we are on the path, for wherever we are as unique souls on this journey. Learning together. Your story is important and everything that you do matters. So thank you for being here. Christina, as you're in this place of gratitude, just focusing on this connection of community for the presence of this moment, I want you to focus on the intention of show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see. And let that intention be, again, us being the community. For anybody tuned into this broadcast, show us what we need to see. I want you to focus on that intention, Christina. I want you to hold that intention and to speak it with your heart, to speak it with your mind, and to speak it with your words. As you focus in on this intention, Christina, just continuing to breathe. Breathe here for a few more moments, and when you feel ready, I want you to type now into the chat, and that is when we will pull the card for you. And as you're doing that, I'm just going to charge the deck. And oh, all the magical ways in which we have come here to play, through the rising of the joy, through the tragedy of each and every single day that can sweep us up from under our feet, only so that we can rise again to see where it is that we will meet the destiny that is here to beckon us into the glory of this heart. Be able to remind us that it is within this moment that we start to be more present, to be with this gift, to allow ourselves to continue to rise into all that we and it is. Consciousness and spirit, soul within this dream, continuing to unravel into more of what it is and has always been. So as you continue to breathe into this moment, Christina, when you are ready, type now into the chat and we shall pull a card and see what message the universe has. Breathe into this moment. Just take a breath for everybody here, holding space here together. That is the joy of this experience. Everybody just adding their energy, just supporting Christina in this moment. And when Christina is ready, they will type now into the chat. Christina, when you are ready, we'll take your time and we'll do our best to be able to hold space. And so as soon as Christina types now into the chat, we shall split the deck and we shall proceed at that moment. So just sending and calling upon all the good vibes in this moment to be able to practice holding space as a tribe. Be able to practice each and every single one of us to see through the eyes, inside, through the heart that is wise. To breathe into this process. That we continue to process and progress through the journey of rising to be our best. Christina types now into the chat. We split the deck. We pull the card and we shall see what message the universe has. Okay. All right. So this card. This is a card that we have pulled for Christina. And again, Christina, I just want you to be able to like be open to what it is that this card may be focusing on. It may not necessarily be like what you're hoping for, but allow it to just be like something that can at least either kind of bring in more insight, or maybe it might be something like completely different than what it is that you feel you need to hear. So just allow yourself to be open to what it is that comes through with this next reading that we are doing. So the card that we have pulled for Christina in this moment is card number 35, which is Past Life Activation. And I want to be able to give Christina a chance here. Christina, if you feel, I don't normally do this, if you feel like you want me to pull another card, like right now, like opposed to this one, if you want to pull a mulligan and you're just like, I don't know, like I feel like maybe it's the next card, I want you to tell me. And I don't normally do this, but like I just want to be able to, again, just kind of like honor just kind of like where you're at. And I've pulled this card before, I know what the message is, and I just feel like maybe there's another card, and maybe this is why I'm like feeling called to do this, because maybe there's like another card that might just have like a little bit of a different message. But you decide, Christina, do you want to proceed with this card? And again, the card is literally Past Life Activation. You can kind of already understand like the basis of what the message is behind this card. However, there are plenty of other cards in this deck. And so, Christina, I just want to be able to give you the option. If you're just like, let's just see what the next card is. And maybe the next card is the one that maybe has like more of a message that's kind of like more in sync. So you want to do this one, Christina? And again, there's no wrong answer. If you're just like, okay, let's keep it. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. And again, thank you for just like being able to confirm. And again, I just wanted to be able to like make sure that you're just getting as much as you can out of this experience. And yeah, and again, like the tarot readings, like this is just like, again, this is just like a part of what it is that we are doing here together as a team. So again, as we get ready to go into this next reading, Michael, thanks for your comment there as well. Thank you for joining in. And again, let's get ready to go into this next reading for this card from the Lightworker Oracle deck, again, for our newest Patreon supporter, Christina. For those of you tuned in on Instagram, go ahead and click the link in my bio to be able to tune in on YouTube. And again, we're going to keep doing this broadcast. I don't know how long I'll be doing this broadcast for, just because my voice gets tired, and that's honestly the reason why I have to stop. But we'll keep doing it as we have more Patreon supporters. So as we do this, we'll keep an eye open for the next Patreon supporter. All right. So again, let's take a look at this card. Card number 35, Past Life Activation. Visually just looking at the card here, again, for anybody here, if you are here, then this message is for you. All right. So Looking at the visual image of this card, what do we have? We have this image of this person who is sitting down in this prayer position with their hands out towards the side. They got kind of like, it's not like they actually have wings, but they have like a pattern on the left side and the right side of them that kind of depicts something similar to wings. And behind them you can see this like a beautiful image of this like space opening up into another realm, into another world, in this case kind of depicting a past life even. And you can see there's like this beautiful gate here, this beautiful kind of like golden portal, and above it just this like this golden dove kind of like flying through from above the heavens. And you can even see there's some planets there. You can see there's like maybe some Neptune, maybe some Saturn on the side, maybe some Mars. And yeah, you can see there's like doves kind of flying through this image, a very, very beautiful image. And again, you can see the architecture here, kind of reminiscent of like something that you would almost think might be like maybe Atlantis-ish. Obviously, that's kind of the vibe that the card's kind of going for. And again, just these beautiful like purples and golds. And there's also some like really cool little spheres kind of floating around here. And again, the person just kind of wearing this like beautiful white gown as well. So again, that's just the literal me explaining the card. And let's go a little bit deeper as we read what's in the book. And then from there, we'll talk about it a little bit more. So again, as we're doing this, we'll keep an eye open for more Patreon supporters. And again, Patreon supporters who are already signed in and tuned in, if you want to increase your pledge, we can do that, and then that will initiate the next reading as well. For everybody here on Instagram, go ahead and click the Instagram link to tune in on YouTube. And for those of you who are here right now, again, this message is for you. So thank you for joining. Christina, I just invite you to just even close your eyes as we read this next part if you just want to be able to focus on the words. All right. And thank you again, Christina, for just being here. It means a lot. Number 35. Past life activation. You have talents within you that have been developed through many varied life experiences. You have had many lifetimes already, even if you don't recall them consciously, helping you evolve and grow into the loving being that you are today. Your desire to grow in consciousness and spiritual power to assist the divine plan unfolding throughout the universe is heard and supported by the spiritual worlds in all ways. To this end, past life material is being activated now for your benefit and greater good. Your soul has a history of lifetimes through which it has learned to be wise and developed certain talents. You have learned lessons and acquired skills and abilities. Sometimes these are mastered through very challenging circumstances. You might feel you are obtaining mastery in certain areas again in this lifetime, again through challenging circumstances. The soul can certainly develop through joy, love, and happiness, but often it is through an experience of conquering a challenge that the real gems are won for the crown of the soul. Let me reread that. It is often through an experience of conquering a challenge that the real gems are won for the crown of the soul. The oracle of the past life activation comes to you when a power you developed in a past life that would be useful for you to access in your current lifetime. Perhaps this talent or ability will become the seed of a spiritual vocation for you, a skill that expands your career or brings you personal joy. The ability that surfaces from the depths of your soul will be whatever it is of a greatest benefit for you now. Sometimes, whilst a treasure is emerging from the depths of your being into consciousness, it will be coated in the pain of the past. You might notice the outer coating first, the pain of abandonment, rejection, ridicule, or shaming that perhaps resulted in the suppression or denial of that soul gift in your past life. This may be the reason you have not incarnated with a fully awakened and at your immediate disposal. You have to allow it to rise up to you, and you need to dig a little deeper to crack open the coating of a wound and free the treasure that temporarily became trapped in the pain. This is a very powerful card. I'm going to reread that. And I'm sure, again, Christina, like even just stuff I'm saying here, you might be able to relate in your own personal perspective. Sorry guys, my throat's getting sore. All right, sign up for my Patreon and I'll forward lozengers. No, I'm just joking. All right, you have to allow it to rise up to you, and you need to dig a little deeper to crack open the coating of a wound and free the treasure that temporarily became trapped in the pain. When you release the pain, you free the treasure once locked within it. Perhaps your gift was challenging to a community in a past life, whereas now it would be more readily accepted because of the community has matured spiritually over time. Or perhaps you have matured and now will value your gift and be open to divine guidance to show you how to use it for your greatest good this lifetime. The gift you are receiving is worthwhile. As you cleanse the memories, beliefs, or programs that once caused you to subconsciously protect yourself by hiding your talent, you will grow strong enough to process the pain and stand in the truth of your reclaimed gifts. If you have been considering a new line of work, feeling like you need to explore or express different talents, or have the urge to develop an interest and transform it into a vocation, you are very likely already feeling the stirrings of a past life activation now taking place for you. Trust the changes you feel. A part of your divine inheritance is being restored to you. And then there's a whole invocation thing. We'll read that a little bit later as we, again, just take a moment here to be able to talk about it first and foremost. So, again, Christina, for you, for anybody else here, this is a very, very, very important and powerful card just to be able to dwell on. And it's something that I like to be able to emphasize in terms of the idea of reminding ourselves that each and every single one of us comes here with gifts, comes here with talents. You did not literally just come here and we're just like if you're on Earth right now, you've played this game before. You've gone through experiences. You've learned things. You've brought things with you. And now you're here again to be able to help bring those things to the forefront of your experience, not just for your own joy, not just for your own growth, but again, to be able to assist others, to be able to show up in service. And so, Christina, just again, with a little bit of what you shared, and again, I'm not trying to do like a psychic thing. I'm not trying to do a whatever fortune telling thing. I think with where you may be at this point in your life, Christina, I think one thing that would be incredibly valuable for you to perhaps focus more on would be how can you be in service to others? Because oftentimes when we're going through stages of life that can feel very heavy, that can again be a process where again we might be confused, we might be kind of like being weighed down by memories of the past and traumas that have kind of weaved themselves into our life. Oftentimes it comes down to a choice of just being able to choose and just be like, well, do I want to just kind of like stay in this space and just kind of like stay here for forever? No, absolutely not. Stay there for as much as you need to. Allow yourself to be present with the feelings. They're all incredibly valid, but allow yourself permission at the same time to perhaps start focusing on being able to connect more with others, on being able to show up in service, on being able to connect both with yourself and to learn more about who you are in your ability to be able to help others. It is through the process of serving others that we see more of who we are. And so, Christina, again, without really getting to know you just yet, but just on the brief little bit that you've shared, it's a great opportunity for you to just be able to take the period of your life that you're in right now and to not feel like you need to rush into this, but to just be able to tap in and take time where you can just kind of ask yourself, what are the things that excite my soul? If I was feeling incredibly happy right now, how would I be spending my time? How would I be expressing myself? How would I be sharing my art with the world? How would I be sharing my heart with the world? And so again, in relation to the past life activation, when you can start to hone in on what it is that you're naturally drawn to in this life, you can allow yourself to bring forth the wisdom that if that's something you are interested in this life, then it's very likely, without it being something that you have to quote unquote like fully understand and believe, that it's something that you have brought with you from a past life into this incarnation so that you can share that gift with others, so that you can begin to focus on developing it more and more and more. And so with where you're at right now, Christina, this may be like a very important catalyst on your journey that is forcing you inwards. Like there is no other option. You cannot escape it. It's literally forcing you inwards, but at the same time, it's giving you an incredible gift of being able to develop empathy and to develop a strength that is uniquely your own that you could not experience any other way. And I'll explain this to you, Christina, because I understand with just a little bit what you said, and I'm not gonna just talk about it just explicitly on air because I want to just be able to respect your privacy. But again, just to be able to understand that like whatever it is that you are going through, Christina, I say this to you and I say this to whoever needs to hear it. You are experiencing it because you as a soul are brave enough to experience it. It is not something where the universe is just like, hey, like, here's something completely out of the blue that we're just going to put on you without you being prepared for. Instead, the way the universe works is that, again, you kind of, or at least from my understanding, you can create your own understanding, you kind of like come into this with this soul understanding that everything is here to help you. And what you can actually begin to do is begin to be able to look at your deepest hurt, at your deepest pain, at your deepest suffering, at your deepest turmoil. And if you can allow yourself to give yourself permission to literally say, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me to that moment, to that experience, to the people who may relate to that experience, to loved ones. Thank you for helping me, because everything is literally there and it may not be obvious in the moment. And I want you to give yourself permission to just be gentle with yourself. But I want you to be able to understand that even through what it is that you may be going through right now, there is growth that is occurring. There is release that is taking place. There is perception that is expanding. There is a heart that is opening. In the depths of our turmoil, we are incredibly close to Godness. And that in itself is something where, like, not a lot of people will think that, but in the depths of grief, there's a moment there where you can almost be like, holy shit, I'm feeling so deeply right now. And this is actually beautiful. And it's in the depths of that grief that the veil between you and Godness becomes very thin. And that is why grief is something that is akin to a psychedelic experience. And so if you can give yourself permission without trying to avoid any sadness, without trying to avoid any of the grief, but to allow yourself to sit with it and to allow yourself to even just be able to say to the grief, thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me feel so deeply. Thank you for helping me feel something that I came here to experience as a human. And thank you for giving me the wisdom, knowing that as I move through this process, it will allow me to serve others. It will allow me to be able to allow my grief to be medicine for others who may be going through their own grief, because I've been able to transform myself through it, to transform myself within the crucible of grief, within the crucible of fire. And so for you, Christina, I feel like, and again, I'm just reading your comments here. I'm just reading the comments. you're definitely, again, and Christina, this isn't me doing like a psychic thing. This isn't me doing like a fortune telling thing. Just reading your comments here. You're definitely a person that likes helping other people. You're definitely a person that has like naturally followed a path where you help other people. And I think, again, like, I think in a case like this, it's important to make sure that you're helping other people by helping yourself. And at the same time, again, to be able to understand that you are worthy of love, that you are worthy of support, that it's okay to ask for help, that it's okay to be able to let others know how it is that you are feeling, to acknowledge where it is that you may be. There's no shame in that. What you're experiencing is incredibly sacred, is incredibly beautiful, and is incredibly transformational. And again, you have experienced it because you as a soul are brave enough to transform it, to transmute it. So for all the people who, again, have gone through past, who have gone through trauma, who have gone through abuse, who have gone through grief, you going through that, as shitty as it is you doing something incredibly noble from a soul perspective, incredibly brave, incredibly pristine, something that many other souls would be like, ooh, like, no thank you. Like, I'd rather not. I'd rather just kind of be in a place of comfort and not grow as much. But for you, Christina, there's a warrior spirit inside of you. And when it came for the time for you to be able to like sign up, the earth, like the ambassadors were kind of like, hey, like, there's a lot of stuff that we need some help transmuting and healing. And we need some of the bravest souls here to be able to sign up for it, because this is a volunteer thing. There's karma involved in with it, but there's a volunteer aspect. Who here is willing to be able to say yes to this? And you are one of those people, because you are fucking brave. And I want you, Christina, to be able to give yourself the permission to acknowledge how incredibly brave you are and to be proud of that. And that might be something that sometimes we forget to do. And I want to be able to just communicate that to you right now, Christina. And like, even as I'm saying this to you, if you feel like your heart swelling, if you feel like there's like, maybe you start crying as I'm saying this, like I can kind of feel my heart swelling and stuff like that. Like, you are so fucking brave. And I think in a lot of ways, Christina, again, just by being able to like understand, like just reading your comments in the chat, and I'm kind of like learning a little bit more about your story with what you've been sharing and everything like that. I think what's interesting here is that I see the past life activation as being something that I myself resonate with, and probably like a common theme here, Christina, where there is like a lineage of warrior energy, where there is a lineage of those who have shown up in lifetimes over and over again to be like the healers during the midst of chaos, to be the healers during the midst of war. Literally, not just metaphorically, literally. And to just be able to understand that, like, who you are right now, Christina, like, just imagine that thought and just kind of think and be like, whoa, like, have I been a warrior in past lifetimes? Have I been a medic on other battlefields? Have I helped people through turmoil and other things in the past? Is that why I'm here right now? Is the strength that I carry with me the strength that is an echo of all the past lifetimes? Because I am so fucking strong. And you are, Christina. Like, again, like, and this is like, I'm not just, this is no bullshit. Like, again, like, and I'm saying this to you just by being able to like kind of, again, just read into the messages that are coming through here. And the message that I just want to be able to convey to you is just to be able to say, on behalf of the universe, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you for carrying your strength, and to know that your strength is not just your own, because your story is not just your own. And the hard days are just bringing the great days into perspective, where because of what you've gone through, you carry with you a very unique gift. Other people, they don't know how blessed they are, because they have not experienced the depths of grief that you have. And so allow that to be something that in itself is actually a catalyst for joy. And to give yourself permission to just be able to be like, holy shit, all the little things in life that I have, I am incredibly fortunate for them. The meaningful relationships, the walks in the park, the connection with nature, spending time with pets, hugs with a friend. Those like mean, like they are like 100 times more present. You are 100 times more present with them because you've experienced the other side of the spectrum. And you deserve to have all of it. You deserve to have the joy. You deserve to have the bliss. Your past does not define your future, but it becomes a catalyst for you to be able to rise into more ecstasy, into more joy. And again, I think with you, Christina, you carry with you a very powerful gift. And that gift is one that is only made possible through grief. And that may sound contradictory. Is grief a gift? It is, when you can learn how to be able to not just transmute it, but also to be able to share your wisdom of how you have moved through it to be able to help hold space for others. So that when other people are going through grief, they'll be able to look to you and they'll be able to see you and be like, hey, like, I'm doing my best. There's still stuff I'm working on. There's still shadows I'm carrying and transmuting. But let my story be a beacon of hope. Let my presence be an ability for you to know that you can make it through this too. If I can do it, you can do it. And we can do it together. So I think there's a very, very powerful opportunity here for you, Christina, to really just be able to spend some time, again, just really connecting with like your permission to feel what you're feeling. I want you to practice saying that mantra, even if you don't fully believe it yet. I want you to practice saying the mantra, thank you for helping me. And I want you to look into your past, and I want you to say that to all of the hard experiences that you've gone through. Again, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm more just inviting you to do this if you feel called to. But I guarantee you, if you do this, it will retroactively help you heal your past. It helps dissolve animosity. And it helps bring in more clarity. Because when you understand that the past was there to be able to help give you this very unique gift, something that, again, we are proud of. You are very unique. You are incredibly strong, and you carry something incredibly important that needs to be shared. That needs to be shared. And you don't have to have it all together, Christina. In order to help other people, you do not have to be like the perfect person. What the fuck does that even mean, right? We are all fractured divine. Meaning we all have cracks, but the cracks are where the light shines through. We've all heard that before. So I think for you, Christina, I think, again, I'm not trying to turn this into like a life coach session. Give yourself permission to ask for help. Go out of your way to be able to bring in more resources. Focus on the things within your day-to-day life that are going to help cultivate that clarity and that momentum and that ecstasy and that joyful feeling. Practice creating those joyful feelings for yourself. And kind of what we were talking about before. You know, there's ways to be able to help like bring in that feeling of joy into any moment. And let that be the focus. Give your nervous system permission to be able to like feel those moments of joy. Literally just by being able to like shift the mind, shift the thoughts, shift the focus. And you know, again, I'm not trying to say it's easier said than done, but that is a path that can be discovered and it can be pursued. You deserve to feel ecstasy. You deserve to feel joy. You deserve to feel bliss. And there are going to be days where it's going to be hard, but you can cope. You can manage. And again, your ability to do so is going to help other people who are going to be going through things probably very similar, unfortunately. But your ability to be able to be a warrior within the shadows, within the chaos, is fucking noble and is fucking needed and is so fucking important. And so on behalf of the universe, Christina, on behalf of everybody here tuned into this broadcast, sending you so much love and just thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are worthy of love. You are seen. You are heard. You are appreciated. And your story is bigger than your own. And so, again, drawing this back into the past life activation, I would really just see this as an opportunity for you to be able to kind of like, without focusing too much on the idea of like, oh, what was a past life and what wasn't, but again, to be able to give yourself a little bit more permission to start opening up to the idea that there are gifts inside of you that you carry that are starting to blossom. And those gifts can come in a variety of ways. And I think a lot of those gifts, just based on what you're sharing, can be in your ability to hold space, to help others process through their experiences. But I'm sure at the same time, there can be more. There's probably gifts that you carry that are more of like the creative and the artistic. And, you know, even just things like dance. All of us have danced in a past life. All of us carry that. Every single one of us has danced around a fireplace in past lives, in future lives. We all carry that. That is something we all carry. So you can invite yourself to be able to be like, shit, man, like when was the last time I really just threw it down hard? I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to like feel the presence of my ancestors and my guides with me. And so again, understanding, Christina, as we get close to wrapping up this card, we're going to get into the invocation. Again, leave your comments 1111 in the chat if this resonates with you. Anybody here. And feel free to leave other comments, Christina, and I'll read the relative ones on into the broadcast. But again, for everybody here, the gift you are receiving is worthwhile as you cleanse the memories, beliefs, or programs that once caused you to subconsciously protect yourself from hiding your talent. You will grow strong enough to process the pain and stand in the truth of your reclaimed gifts. If you have been considering a new line of work, feeling like you like to explore, express different talents, or have the urge to develop an interest and transform it into a vocation, you are very likely already feeling the stirrings of the past life activation now taking place for you. Trust the changes you feel. A part of your divine inheritance is restored to you. And you know, Christina, this is just a thought off the top of my head. Like you mentioned that you were like in the Air Force, in service. There are a lot of people who are also either in service or currently out of service. And I have a lot of respect for military. Like I have my own personal connections with military within my own, like this life and past lives. But you know, Christina, this is just a seed that I just want to plant. There is a bunch of people within the military families who would probably really value having someone who could hold space with them from a little bit more of like a spiritual perspective to be able to help assist them with kind of like healing through whatever traumas they may be carrying. And there's again, I'm just thinking there's a need there. And if that's something where you're just like, oh shit, you know, like, how can I help my fellow servicemen and women? How can I help them? Like maybe there's something there. And maybe that's something we can talk a little bit more about. And maybe that's something there where that literally could become a vocation. That literally could become something for you to start focusing on. That could be something where it's like something for you to be able to, again, be able to like focus a little bit more of your talents, to create more of your content, to create like more like media online that targets a particular audience. Very particularly the niche of people who are in and out of military service, who are carrying a shit ton of trauma, who want to be able to work with someone maybe one-on-one, who brings in a little bit more of a holistic, spiritual minded approach. So I'm just putting that idea out there, Christina. And maybe if that's something you want to talk about, that could be a thing. But at the same time, Christina, I think it's important for you to be able to listen to what it is that you need and to make sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. So if that resonates with you, please feel free to let me know. You don't have to decide on anything about that right now, but that's just something, again, just kind of coming through. I'm just like, shit, man, like, dude, like, there is a fucking need for that. Like, our warriors need that, you know? And they don't have enough of it. And it's not just coming through, like, veteran support services. But what if you can target, like, a social media audience and even direct messaging and just be like, hey, this is what I'm doing and I'm practicing holding space. And a lot of it could be one-on-one coaching, accountability, and things like that. And that would actually kind of like, as you kind of just be like, whoa, shit, like, could I be a coach? Like, could I be a mentor? And that actually calls you into being able to be like, yo, okay, over the next 3 months, I'm going to become the best version of myself I can be. And really, really focus on that. And that is your job, Christina. Your job is to take care of yourself first and foremost. And as you do that, you allow yourself to show up in service to others. So again, there's a lot of stuff here, and again, I know we kind of like bounced around there, but again, I feel that, yeah, this is a good card for us to be able to have this discussion in this moment, and a lot of it I didn't really expect to come through, but hey, it did. Again, I'm just a conduit, I'm just a channel, I'm just practicing holding space for whatever wants to come through in the moment, so I appreciate everyone holding the space for me. So again, I hope that me mentioning that, Christina, actually gives you something to start thinking about, and just be like, and just like think, like, how would that feel? How would it feel to have your own business as an entrepreneur where you're working with specifically military people and helping them process through trauma and helping support them to the best of your ability through kind of like a spiritual lens? That's fucking badass. And I would be happy to help support that. And now that you're in the paradigm shift community, that can be something we can talk more about, and I can help you as a conscious media coach building a little bit more of that. So we can talk about more about that later if it's something that you resonate with. And for anybody else here, let's just send so much love to Christina. So much love to like our military servicemen and women. Again, like, I don't care what your opinion is on war. Like, I just want us to be able to send like love and support to all the souls that have been, you know, affected by it in any way. And again, the more that we've like experienced it, the more the healing takes place, and the less we have to repeat it as well. So here's the vision for the future where war is no longer needed because we've gone through it. So here's the invocation. I'm going to read this. And as I'm reading this, again, I want you to be able to just kind of like imagine that this is you saying this to yourself or anybody here. And again, we're talking to Christina, but we're talking to anybody here. Invocation. Through divine grace, protection, mercy, and empowerment, I call for the activation of all past life gifts and abilities that will serve my greatest and most joyful, inspirational, and soul-satisfying success this lifetime. I ask for healing assistance from the higher beings that love me unconditionally so I can swiftly release any unhelpful conditioning or resistance to the expression of these talents. I ask for inspiration and guidance to bring them to life in the world in the best possible way this lifetime. May all beings receive this full divine inheritance with mercy and grace through my own free will, so be it. So Christina, make sure you message me afterwards and I can send you a picture of this and you can just kind of read this and think about it a little bit more. I'm super grateful that you've connected and that we were able to have this discussion. And again, I think this was a very, very powerful card to be able to pull in, and I'm inspired by it, and I'm inspired by you just being here. So thank you, Christina. If there's any other comments you want to share about how this card resonates with you or just express any gratitude, please feel free to do that and we can kind of read it on air. But yeah, Christina basically, just going back to some of the earlier comments, said, it's exactly what I needed to hear in relation to the reading. So thank you. Thank you. I'm just going over the readings, just some of the comments. Wow. That's very beautiful, Christina. Christina says, I do share my story. I know I'm blessed by having a forgiving and loving heart, and my life has been horrid. I don't feel strong a lot of the time, so I needed to hear you say that. I'm glad you're able to be here, Christina. I really, really am. And thank you again, Christina, for your other comments as well. And for everybody else here, thank you for just holding space. Like, it means a lot for everyone to just kind of be here together as a community, for just holding space for that message. That was a very unique message. But again, I think a very important message. Honestly, like the idea, like this is a side note for a lot of people here. Like, you guys don't know this, but like I've mentioned this to you before. Like, I'm an award-winning Canadian filmmaker. There's 2 documentaries that I've made way back, like almost 10 years ago, when I was like still getting started in Paradigm Shift. The universe brought it into my lap, and both of them were about military, specifically Canadian soldiers in Afghanistan, and both of them dealt with grief and loss. But my intention when making these movies was to actually serve as a process of catharsis and healing. Something that would allow people to better understand, that would allow the public to understand more about what the military and the families go through, and to be able to allow those military and those families to be able to experience some of the healing that could take place through the kind of like shamanic messages that were encoded into the story. So very, 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 very powerful stuff. And if you're interested in those, I can send you a direct message for those. I can send you a direct link for those if you're interested in that. That's again, and that's a part of my story. So that's why, like, seriously, like I have a big space in my heart for the military people, men and women who have been in service, who have been affected by war, because they need a lot of support and they need a lot of healing, and they're all incredibly brave. And so, yeah, I think, again, just keeping them in our hearts is incredibly important. So, Christina, thank you for joining us here tonight. And again, just special like shout out and respect to all the servicemen and women out there. Again, and I appreciate everybody just kind of understanding where I'm coming from when I share that. And seriously, like, those movies weren't movies where I'm like, hey, I'm going to go out and make a military documentary. It was literally like the universe was like, hey, you're going to make this. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And it was actually like my father kind of initiated it because he's like also involved with film. And then basically like I became the assistant director and the editor of it. So I spent like months going through footage and like being able to create this very, very powerful story. The movie, one of them you can look up is If I Should Fall. If you go to ifishouldfall.com, that's one of the ones that you can check up. The other one is called Clearing the Way. So you can literally watch the trailer for that. And the trailer for If I Should Fall, the whole movie actually features a soundtrack from Lorena McKennitt, who is a very well-known and incredibly soulful artist. So yeah. Feel free to check that out. The trailer for If I Should Fall is online. And seriously, just by watching it, you can be like, oh shit, okay, I understand what Brendan was talking about here. All right. With that said, let's just take a couple breaths here. Just inviting everyone to just roll their shoulders. Deep, gentle inhales. Big exhales. A couple more of those. Deep inhale. Big exhale. Like forceful exhale if you feel. Deep inhale. Gentle exhale. Just be present and slow down your breath. Awesome. Christina leaving a comment. Wow, you're amazing. I'm grateful to have come across you when asking my guides for a sign of what I need to do from here. Beautiful. Thank you, Christina, so much for joining us. All right. Okay. Mark, thank you for your comments as well. Thank you for everyone for just adding your comments of support as well. All right. All right, team. So with that said, again, it's 10:30 right now. I can't stay up all night. I appreciate everybody just adding their support and being here. We can do another reading. Again, our objective was to get 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. Christina was the first one. So if anybody here, even just after that reading, like, yo, that was a shit ton of value just through that reading. And I know a lot of people were just like, yo, like, okay, like there was something there for me too. Dawn, I saw your comments as well. Thank you as well. Kristen, I saw your comments as well. Thank you for adding your comments. So again, for everybody here, if you're just like, yo, like, okay, Brendan's got something like really cool going on here, and there's a lot of value here, and this is something that's like needed for the community, then yes, you are invited to be able to help support what it is that we are doing by signing up to the Patreon. And again, Patreon is a monthly contribution to be able to help support the work that I do as an artist, as a conscious media creator, as an entrepreneur. So like, this is something where it's like coming from the community up. And we already have, well, let me update the Patreon on-screen graphic. We have 165 supporters, give or take. That number is more of a rough estimate right now. And again, Christina is one of our recent supporters, so I'm just going to update the on-screen information. Again, Christina, thank you so much. It meant a lot for you to be here, for you to just be so opened heart-wise with us today. It was, even just you being here was like more meaningful than, you know, just you. So thank you, Christina. We'll keep in touch. Christina, if you are here, be sure to connect with our team chat, our Discord server, and I'll send you a message through Facebook just to be able to help walk you through it as need be. So with that said, team, we're going to take a little bit of an intermission. And again, the next reading that we do will be for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And we currently have, again, we're kind of like dwindling on the viewers right now. I think there's probably maybe like 20 people tuned in, give or take. But I'd still love to be able to do either one or a couple more readings for people as they are signed up to the Patreon. So again, if you're here and if you were here for that last reading and you're just like, yo, this is pretty awesome. Or again, even if you want to be able to work with me as a private conscious media creation coach, signing up for the Patreon is a way to do that. And again, if you want to work with me as a higher end like soul coach, meaning having access to me on Voxer, that's my private voice messaging app, and just checking in with me on a regular basis for as much as you need to. And again, just being able to like set up times where we can like go deep together in meditation. I can do custom meditations for you. Again, just being able to practice holding space. There is a limit to what I can do, but I'll let you know what that is. But again, just doing my best to be able to help support you and just being able to, again, just kind of like keep focused, keep accountable, focus on what your objectives are, expressing your heart song, and again, just kind of like having a person to talk to in your corner. That's incredibly, incredibly valuable. Like having a coach is super, super valuable, whether you're just kind of like working on things through your life and you're just trying to stay focused, or again, if you're an entrepreneur and you're kind of like working on getting more clarity. Christina, thank you as well. Seeing your comment there. Thank you, everyone, says Christina. That was super awesome. Thank you again, everyone. That was really beautiful. All right, team. So just holding the space as it is right now as we get ready to do a next reading for the next person who signs up for the Patreon. And if you are ready to sign up for the Patreon, let me know. And again, that's a $11 contribution to sign up at the lower level of a leading member. You can get a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal when you sign up at that level in exchange for the ongoing support that you would be adding. And you can also get access to me as a private conscious media creation coach worth over $200 a month. You can join our private membership as a leading member within the Paradigm Shift Central community. And again, you can also get discounts from the shop. You can publish your content through the website as the project continues to evolve. And lots of other cool stuff as well. Serena, I've seen your comment in the chat. I do not answer questions from the chat, just to confirm. So I don't do like, I assume you probably just joined, which is cool and awesome and welcome and thank you. However, I don't do like psychic readings. I don't do like fortune readings. I don't do relationship readings per se. What we do is that we do readings for people with the intention of show us what we need to see, using the decks as a message to be able to help deliver clarity and inspiration to assist us as on our journey as conscious creators, as leaders, as like people continuing to awaken and helping shift consciousness. So team, with that said, my voice is getting pretty sore, so if we wrap it up early tonight, we may do that. Again, Christina dropping in the 22 level Patreon, super appreciated. And Christina, again, like even Christina, let me know, like even if you're interested, like you can decide, Christina, if you feel like having me available for, like, if you were interested in having me available more as like kind of like the soul coach level, let me know. Like there are the options there, and you can always adjust your Patreon pledge. Excuse me. All right, team. So again, if we have another person sign up for the Patreon in the next little bit, we'll do another reading. If anybody already signed up for the Patreon wants to increase their Patreon pledge, then we can do a reading for them as well, or do a reading for the collective group as well. And yeah, at this point, like, I'm still up for doing some more readings. However, like, yeah, like I have to just be conservative with my energy. Because, like, seriously, like, just doing that, like, I'm, like, kind of, like, in a zone, right? It's just, like, coming through. That was, like, an hour of me talking, right? Like, my voice is sore now, so. But, hey, it's all worth it. All right, team. We currently got about 30 people tuned in right now. If you're here in the chat, drop a 333 in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're tuned in. Again, if you're here for the first time, you can sign up for the Patreon to be able to check out, or just check out the Patreon to be able to just like see a little bit more about what I do. Daniel saying, "Hey Wolf, only if it's not too late. I might sign up right now for the Patreon for reading." Absolutely, Daniel. Totally cool. Like I got enough energy in me for at least one more reading. Definitely. So if you want to sign up for the Patreon now, that's totally cool. Again, the $5 level, like, and again, let me just be clear. When people are signing up for the Patreon, don't just sign up for the Patreon just because you want a reading. Sign up for the Patreon because you support the value of the work that I'm creating for the community, and because you want to continue supporting. So basically, just to be clear, if you're in a position where you're just like, oh shit, like I'm gonna sign up, but this is like the only money I have right now, I would prefer you to hold on to that. And so I am looking for people to be able to sign up who are in a position where they'll be able to comfortably continue contributing, if that makes sense. And I appreciate the gesture. I really, really do. But again, in terms of just like what it is that we're creating, we want to be able to invite people who are in a position who can continue to support ongoing to the best of their abilities, because that kind of honors the value that it is that we're sharing here. So Daniel, if that resonates with you, absolutely, please go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. Again, for anybody else who's already signed up for the Patreon, if you want to increase your pledge, super, super appreciated. I'm actually going to be calling some places for apartments tomorrow. I'm going to go check some stuff out. Again, I'm working at getting a two-bedroom apartment is actually what I'm aiming for. Originally, I was thinking about getting a one-bedroom apartment, but the two-bedroom ones seem to be more available. Plus, I actually like the idea of getting a two-bedroom one. That way, so I can actually use the second room specifically for production instead of trying to fit it all into one room or trying to like fit it into my living room. I would actually like want my bedroom and then want another room just for production. And that would literally be like my production studio. And that idea is like super, super exciting. So that's what I'm working up to. And again, like your support on Patreon is like helping make that possible. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, to be able to like put my nose to the grindstone, show up providing awesome value, to show up with my authentic self, and to invite people to be like, fuck yes, I'm putting in my energetic vote for this guy. So when you sign up for the Patreon, I want you to think of it as like an energetic signature of you saying like, fuck yes, I support this guy. Here's my energetic vote, you know? So all right. So yeah, dream big, everyone. You deserve it. Daniel, if you're interested in signing up for the Patreon, we're just going to hold tight. I'm just going to take a little moment here to just kind of decompress. And again, thank you everyone so much for joining in. You can sign up for the Patreon at any time. I know sometimes it happens where like we do a broadcast and people are like, holy shit, this is awesome. I'm going to sign up for the Patreon once I can, right? So it's like a lot of seed planting is going on. And again, for people here who just, maybe you're not interested in the Patreon, but hey, connect to my Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, connect to my Skull Babylon on YouTube, and make sure that you're subscribed there for lots and lots of awesome content that we have coming your way. And again, we got Dream Class this Wednesday for the community. And again, become a leading member by joining on the Patreon to be able to join on air. And that's where we talk about dreams and dreams experiences and lots of really cool stuff. Thank you, Augustina. I really appreciate it. I think tomorrow I'm actually going to go check out a place. Again, right now I'm at the point where I'm literally just in the process of increasing my budget. That's literally where I'm at right now. Increasing my monthly earnings. Because again, as I do that, then I'll be able to afford it. All right, awesome. Daniel, thank you so much for signing up to the Patreon. Daniel has signed up for the $5 level on the Patreon. So thank you so much, Daniel. And Daniel, go ahead and just let me know, are you new, or have you been following my content for a while, if you're okay with sharing? And we'll get right into our next reading. And again, for Daniel, let me know if you would like the Lightworker Oracle deck or the Ananda Tarot deck, whichever one you feel called to. Lightworker Oracle deck can get a little bit more specific. The Ananda Tarot deck is a little bit kind of like more like symbolic. So whichever one you prefer. A lot of people usually choose the Lightworker Oracle deck, and for good reason. It's a good deck. I think, Ryder, didn't you say that you have the Lightworker Oracle deck? Did you read that somewhere? All right. Okay, I'm just going to step away from the computer. I just got to be able to get myself ready to sit down for what could be another hour. But we'll get right into this reading. And again, everybody here, just give a nice thank you for Daniel. I'm sure Daniel's jumping back into the chat in a second, so I'll just make sure that we reiterate that. Augustina, thank you so much for joining in. It's good to see you here as well. And again, we got several of our Patreon supporters already tuned in. Andrea, who's tuned in. Ryder, Mark, and who else we got? Christina, obviously. And anybody else who is here, thank you. And again, just thank you to our regular viewers as well. All right, just give me 2 seconds here. I just got to be able to take care of something, and then I'll be right back, and then we'll be ready for another reading. All right, team, we're back. All right, Daniel, if you're in the chat, go ahead and let me know. Daniel, thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. Daniel says, thanks all. Very long time follower of Wolf. Dude, that means a lot. And yeah, I was going to say, like, because I recognize your name. So I've definitely seen you in the chat. And I really appreciate you adding your support, Daniel. That's a huge fuck yes. So thank you so much, dude. And again, Daniel, if you feel in the future like you want to upgrade your Patreon to the $11 level, again, just like understanding that that's like, if you want to be involved with the broadcast, if you want to, again, be able to like work with me as a conscious media creation coach, feel free when it works for you to be able to like upgrade that to that level and to be able to, again, just be able to get the additional support and access. And thank you again just for being able to like sign up in the first place, dude. Means a lot. It really, really does. So Daniel, I think I asked, but I don't think you were in the chat when I first asked it, because obviously you're switching back over for the Patreon. Would you like the Lightworker Oracle deck, or would you like the Ananda Tarot deck? The Ananda Tarot deck is kind of like more symbolic. The Lightworker Oracle deck is a little bit more specific. So whichever one you choose, there is no wrong answer. And again, as we do this, for those of you who are here, again, if it's your first time here, welcome. Allow yourself to just be able to like get comfortable and experience what it is that we're creating here as a team. Make sure that you're connecting with my social media platforms so you can tune in for our future broadcasts, including our dream class coming up soon. And again, if you would like to be able to sign up for the Patreon at any point, please feel free to do that. And again, reminder that I am offering that like higher end coaching. So again, like there is an option where people can, again, like the 333 level is the one where it like gives you like access to me with like full voice access, and we can schedule in like meetings and everything like that. And then like the $1,000 level is like weekly meetings as well. So I know there's a friend of mine who's been following me for years, and they're signing up for the 333 level soon. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. But again, if somebody, and I'm not, again, I understand, I'm not expecting everyone to be able to understand it, but that's the thing, like money is relative, right? Like for some people, like if they just happen to be sitting on a bunch of money, like yo, like what's better, keeping that money in a bank where it's doing nothing, or investing that money to be able to like step into your own empowerment? Like investing in yourself is the most important thing you can do. Really, really is. And I'm glad to see more people are just becoming aware of that. So all right, Daniel's gonna do the Lightworker Oracle deck. That's awesome, Daniel. Let's get right into this then. Again, team, we'll do this next reading. I'll take a break once I know that my voice is just like needing the break, but we'll keep an eye open for another Patreon sign up, and we can still do one more reading after this, but let's just focus on this one right now. So thank you again, Daniel. Everybody here, just give a nice warm thank you to Daniel as well for syncing up with the joining on the Patreon and joining in for the broadcast here tonight. So give me 2 seconds here. They're just going to post a link. And again, for those of you in the Facebook chat, if it starts glitching, just jump over to YouTube. And if you want to sign up for the Patreon, you can do that at any point. And here you go, YouTube. Here, have that link again. All right, Daniel, let's get right into this reading. Thank you so much, brother. It means a lot. Give me 2 seconds here. I'm just gonna restart the Instagram feed that actually stopped like a while ago. So just give me 2 seconds here. All right, 1 second, team. Gotta launch on the Instagram so that more people can tune in to the broadcast. All right, here we go. All right. Okay. And we are live on Instagram once again. Thank you so much to those of you tuning in on Instagram. If you're watching this in the future, go ahead and click the link in my bio to be able to tune in on YouTube. And with that said, we're just about to get into our next reading for our newest Patreon supporter, Daniel. Daniel, confirm for me in the chat that you are ready, and we're going to drop into that space of gratitude, and we are going to get right into your reading. So thank you, thank you. Awesome. All right. Thank you again, everyone. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to join in on YouTube. And Daniel, if you're ready, let's do this. So for everybody here, just inviting you to be able to drop into that heart space, drop into that place of gratitude. And Daniel, you can just confirm for me in the chat that you're ready, because there's a bit of a delay on the feed, that's why. And so for everybody here, as you're here, again, just reminding us that for anybody watching this for the first time, this is not a fortune telling. This is not a psychic reading. This is a chance for us to be able to set the intention of show us what we need to see, and for us to be able to use the cards as a conduit for us to be able to receive that message to support us as light workers, as light guardians, as shifters, as people who are here to help assist with the shift in consciousness. Daniel is ready. Let's do this. All right, Daniel. Let's drop into that space of gratitude. You can just close your eyes if you want. Inviting everybody here to just join us in this space. Adding your energy. Just take a few deep breaths here. Nice big exhales. And just bring yourself into this place of gratitude, feeling this connection of tribe, of family, of people with common visions, common passions to be able to help make the world a better place through the power of creativity and compassion. As you allow yourself to be present in this space of gratitude, just continuing to breathe gently, Daniel, and for everybody here, I want you to focus on the intention of show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see, us being the community, us being anybody who's tuned into this broadcast right now. Daniel, as you focus in on this intention, I want you to be able to speak it with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words. As you continue to do this, breathe a few more times. Allow yourself to be present, relax, focus. When you are ready, Daniel, type now into the chat and just give me a few extra seconds here as I just charge the deck. And so with each and every single breath, the magic continues to rise to the surface. As we continue to step into the path that we are on, wizards and all the multi-dimensional shamans. For Yaman, the magic within is within our palms. As we hold our wizard staffs high towards the sky, we continue to bring down the ancient power within our third eye. As we connect the chakras deep into the earth, as we expand our branches through the cosmic rebirth. And as Daniel types now into the chat, we split the deck and see what message the universe has. 20 bucks says it's the last card that we just pulled, and somehow we pulled the same card twice. That's happened before. Nope, I was wrong. Thank goodness. So, all right. This is cool. This is a card that I haven't had before. This happens sometimes because with this deck's still new to me, and I'm actually like going through it with you at the same time. So there's like some exciting dopamines that are getting released right now. Daniel, our newest Patreon supporter, signed up at the $5 level. Thank you so much, brother, for your support over the years and for saying fuck yes. and for being able to join us here tonight for this broadcast. The card that we have pulled for you is number 19, an invitation to connect. That's what it says, an invitation to connect, number 19. So give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to open up the book. Again, team, as we're doing this, anybody else who wants to be able to sign up for the Patreon, go ahead and do that right now, and just, you can get us ready so that we can jump right into the next one as soon as we're done this one. Otherwise, this may be the last broadcast for the night, or last reading for the night. Oh no, yeah, I'll just stop the broadcast, and then we'll do another broadcast at 3 a.m. You guys will tune in for that, right? That'll be the 3rd broadcast for today. My goodness. Whew. All right. Despite common theories, I need sleep too. Well, I have to practice for dream class. All right. Okay, team. Here's what we got. Looking at this image, what do we got? All right. Number 19, an invitation to connect. Okay. So we have this very beautiful image, this very psychedelic image of presumably a male. It could be a female, I don't know. And their hair is kind of like this like fiery flame, and they have this like beautiful energy coming in from their third eye and into their crown, and these like bubbles exploding into space, and behind them there's like this image of this like metaphysical spiritual city, kind of like an astral city. Look at that. That's super dope. And you can see these like planets kind of like flying through space and everything. This is like some straight up like DMT stuff right here. And you can see they're holding like this very powerful orb of light within their palms, or just like some sort of like energy within their palms. And yeah, and you can just see like these beautiful colors and just this look on their face. Their eyes are either closed or they're just kind of like gazing down at the lights that we have here. And yeah, just these beautiful oranges and blues. Very, very powerful energy just to the visual image of this card. All right, and give me 2 seconds here as I'm gonna just get ready to dive into the reading. Serena, I'm seeing your comment in the chat saying that you signed up. Just to confirm, there's no confirmation on my end. So what you might have done is you might have like created a Patreon account, but you might not have actually signed up to my Patreon yet. But again, Serena, like, sorry, Daniel, I just want to be able to answer this. Serena, like, just to confirm, I do not answer relationship questions. I do not do fortune telling. I do not do psychic readings. If your question is, will this person get back with me? I'm sorry, but that is not something that I am offering. So honestly, if that's what you're looking for, I would basically like encourage you to like not to, and I appreciate you being here, but there's going to be another reader out there who's probably going to be more what you're looking for. And that's just me saying that because I want you to be able to get what it is that you're looking for. But again, I don't want people signing up for the Patreon just for the reading. I want people to sign up for the Patreon because they support the work of what I'm doing and they resonate as well. But I appreciate you checking in, Serena, and thank you for sharing. And we'll, again, stick around because we're going to share the message from this card and just allow yourself to be present and allow yourself to just be a part of the community as well. So, all right. So thank you again for Daniel, our newest Patreon supporter. And again, we'll keep an eye open for other Patreon supporters as we go through this. And yeah, if anybody has any questions, like please, like Serena was doing, like please feel free to just check with clarity because I'll be happy to provide it that. So nothing wrong with asking a question if need be. All right. Oh God, I like choked on my own orange juice. So, but yeah, Serena, if you do want to sign up, it's with the intention of just like show us what we need to see. But again, you're signing up not just for the reading, but because of like the community that we're creating and the work that I do. So even if you want to sign up later, take a look at what I do first, and then you can sign up. I appreciate you being here. All right, Daniel, our newest Patreon supporter, let's dive into this reading. Thank you again, everyone, for holding space. And again, if you are here, this message is for you. So let's dive into this. Excuse me. That was rude. All right. Whew. Okay. Number 19. An invitation to connect. Daniel, if you're still in the chat, just let us know and drop 1111s as this resonates. Love exists throughout our universe. Many loving beings that do not belong to the human race exist in worlds beyond the earthly realm. Among these are those who are aware of the spiritual plight of humanity and are willing and able to help us move forward. Unlike those who close their minds because they fear the unknown, they have an open mind and an open, receptive heart. Beings from other worlds recognize you as a receptive channel for this unconditionally loving assistance in this world. You will both benefit from this individually and help the planet. So you are being offered an invitation to connect. There are many dimensions to existence. For those who are developing evolved sensory perception, the senses will not be restricted to being impressed upon by the physical dimension. There are higher dimensions that the psychic or emotional nature can recognize, and even more refined dimensions that the higher mind can recognize. Beyond that, there are dimensions that the mind, even in its most expansive state, cannot grasp, but the spirit knows to be real. The more your sensitivity to subtle energy evolves, the more aware you become of these worlds beyond this world. For more, this will be easy to accept. For some, this will be easy to accept and will inspire interest in learning more. Others may be tentative about exploring connections with non-earthly beings. Great peace can grow in the heart of those who are unafraid, who are open to the idea of beings that are aware of humanity, but not human themselves, who want to help humanity evolve and have the spiritual power to be able to do so. Daniel's like, yo, I'm all about talking to them aliens, dude. This is totally my thing. So, no matter how mixed up and consumed by darkness the world may seem at times, there are so many powers of light working to see the earth and humanity through the most interesting time, to see us into the new age of spiritual enlightenment. It is all part of this divine experiment of life, and there are many forces invested in the successful and loving evolution of humanity. If you have been contemplating life beyond the earth, perhaps talking to the stars or gazing wistfully at other planets, if you have been intrigued by the mysterious codes of light and the sound you are sure are embedded in crop circles, or simply have a feeling that you would like to work with beings who are more spiritually evolved than humanity at present, then you are being given a clear message with this oracle. There are beings in other worlds that are very aware of your open, loving attitude and the work you are doing. They are actively responding to your thoughts and feelings. Since we live in a free will zone on Earth, we must extend an invitation to receive assistance. Because you are unafraid and resonate from a place of peaceful curiosity and higher level awareness, you are capable of ensuing the needed invitation to those that can assist humanity from a place of unconditional love. Of course, there are forces in the broader universe that are just as there are forces in the natural world here on Earth that will not be so helpful to the triumph of love in this planet. Therefore, we must ensure our invitation to the forces of light with a peaceful heart and a wise mind. The invocation below has been carefully crafted to attain that purpose. You are asked to use it whenever you feel you need to do so, knowing that you are part of the bridge between humanity and other loving worlds that want to assist life on Earth. They thank you now and offer their blessings to you and to life on Earth in all ways possible. Wow, so this is a super interesting card. This one's pretty unique. This one's pretty special. Daniel, drop those 1111s in the comments if this resonates with you. So again, this is a card this is a topic, this is a concept that I'm incredibly fascinated by. And again, with us pulling this card is a great way for us to be able to initiate the conversation and just be able to bring some attention to it in terms of understanding that, yes, we here as humans are here walking through our day-to-day life, interacting with the physical, learning lessons, evolving as souls, but we are just a small picture within a bigger story, meaning that, yes, there are other worlds out there. And whether you're thinking of those as like physical planets or whether you're thinking those as higher dimensional realms, other dimensional realms, the astral planes, call it what you will, that there are beings and intelligences and consciousness and like packets of energy that exist with a degree of awareness that are literally here to be able to help assist us, that are literally here to kind of play from like the bench, in the way of like imagining, like, you know, you're on the ice. I'm using a hockey metaphor, obviously. You're on the ice and you're playing and you're like on there and you're like putting in your heart and soul into this game and you're doing your best you can to be able to kick butt and win. At the same time, doesn't it help knowing that there are people either on the bench, like your coach and your assistant coach, that are there to support you, or even more so, people who are actually in the crowd who are like holding a sign and like sending their support and love and being like, you can do this, you fucking got this, we believe in you. Like, imagine it's the last minute of the championship game and you're just like in the like on the ice and there's no one cheering for you in the crowd. Now imagine how it would feel if there was like fucking like 100 people so fucking pumped up about your presence and they had banners with your name on it and they're like, yo, this is your fucking moment, step into your destiny, fuck yeah, do this, get them goals, win that game, accomplish your goals and objectives and live your best life with an open heart. How would that feel differently, right? So it's not to say that like you can't do it without it, but at the same time, opening up to this idea that yes, that is a very much a real metaphor for the understanding that we here on earth are in this game, but we aren't seeing the people who are observing it, and we aren't seeing the people who are cheering us on and who are assisting, even just through energetic support, even just through simply their presence and their reassurance. Again, you know, like that in itself is part of the gift that we are open to being able to receive, simply by knowing that in this invitation to connect, we are connecting to the support that these beings have for us through a variety of ways, through moral support, through insight, through intuition, through access to creative abilities, through like foresight, through more of just kind of like our chakra awareness, and again just kind of like tapping into all of the intuitive faculties within our body, be it both like, you know, like the gut feeling in the sacral, the heart opening experience of the heart chakra, the like the eye expanding kind of intuitive awareness of creativity within the crown and the brow. And so this is a very powerful card, Daniel, for you to just kind of be able to check in with yourself and just be like, okay, like, is this something that I want to explore with an open and curious heart? Is this something where I want to be able to perhaps put the intention before going to sleep each night to just be able to say like, hey, universe, hey, cosmic beings who are out there, yet still right here, because distance is non-relative. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, there's beings on other planets, but maybe those planets aren't actually far away. Maybe they're all inside of us, right? So in that sense, like, you don't have to wait for a signal to travel across the universe. You can literally just go to sleep, set the intention, and invite the opportunity for that message to be able to come in, while at the same time serving in a way that is you being a clear channel. So kind of going back to the other one, it's like, yo, this process right here, this is a little bit more advanced, because this is something that is going to be more accessible after you clear the shit off your radar dish. So for you, Daniel, if you're just like, yo, fuck yeah, I want to talk to fucking aliens, like, fuck yes. And I'm saying that because I want to do the same thing, right? If you want to do that, one of the great places to do it is through the dream space. But the only way you're going to be able to get there is if you focus on the elements that are going to help you build up that like ability to access the dream space with a conscious awareness and with an open heart and with the ability for you to be able to receive that message. I guarantee you every single fucking night, aliens are trying to send you messages, but you, as in humans, not just you, Daniel, are trying to send us messages, and they're like encoding these powerful messages into our dream stories. They're like, okay, I made this like beautiful metaphor that's going to help them like activate their inner Jedi, and then they send it to us, and then we like go through this dream. It's encoded into our soul still, but then we like drop it before we wake up. Like, it's just like the aliens are like, yo, here's this super fucking powerful, empowering gift. We're giving it to you. Please hold it carefully and bring it with you into the physical realm. And then like this is us when we don't practice our dream practices. We're like, wow, this is great. This is just, oh, whoopsie, I dropped it. And then you wake up and you're just like, huh, Like, okay, I don't even remember anything. And then meanwhile, the aliens are just like, God fucking damn it. Like, why do we keep trying with these humans? Like, we're sending them all of these beautiful messages and gifts and inspiration, but they keep fucking dropping it and stuff like that. And that's not to say that there isn't a part of your soul that's actually still like receiving that. But imagine what it would be like where it's like the aliens are like, yo, here's this fucking gift. Hold it carefully. And your conscious awareness, because of your ability to tune into the dream practice, is like, okay, I got this. And you wake up the next morning and you're just like, oh, and then you bring that forth into the world as like a story and a message. And you're just like, guys, I did it. I talked to aliens last night and here's what they had to say. And it's not just a message for me, it's a message for the team. And that's kind of like part of what it is that this is also inviting you to be able to understand, is that you being in this place of an invitation to connect is you being able to be a conduit and a bridge for the messages that are coming through you to be able to serve the planet. And that could be like, again, something that could be like almost like an artistic idea. It could be, again, you kind of reflecting on the question of like, what is needed? And so by understanding that, like literally every single night you have the option to talk to aliens, like, what the fuck? Like, yo, that's pretty cool. But again, that's something that must be earned. And so this card is really calling you, Daniel, if you feel, and for anybody listening to this, if you feel like you're like, you know, like, okay, I want to be an ambassador here on, you know, like Team Earth planet for the messages that are being brought through the astral planes and through the higher dimensions and through other planets. And that means that I have to like show up in a place of clarity, show up in a place of open heart, show up in a good intention, and show up doing the work as a student so that I can carry the messages forward, so that I can be a good messenger, so that I can bring forth the messages of godliness into this earth plane through my art and through my own personal development. And so again, I think the other important thing by this is also understanding that it's something that you, again, it kind of talks about this, like here within this earth plane, we have this, I like how it says, since we live in the free will zone of earth, as if like other parts of the galaxy might not have free will quite in the same way we do. But again, the fact that we're in the free will zone basically means that these beings, for the most part, don't interact unless we give them permission, meaning that we have to invite them. And that can be something that, again, is literally just like a thought process in your mind where it's just like, okay, like, aliens, I am here, I am ready to receive. And you might go to sleep one night and nothing happens, and you might go to sleep the next night and nothing happens, and you might go to sleep for a month and nothing happens, or at least it feels like nothing's happening. But maybe the aliens are just like actually testing you and just be like, let's see how serious this guy is. Like, we need to know that this guy's the right guy or girl for the job. Let's make him wait. Let's see how patient he is. And then suddenly one night you're like fucking on a spaceship smoking DMT with aliens, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like, that was the most incredible psychedelic experience within a dream I've ever had. I can't unsee that. It shifted my paradigm, and I feel it kind of like awakened something within me. And that experience is something that is now part of my understanding of reality. So this is a very, very interesting and powerful card for you to be able to receive. And again, if this resonates with you, drop those 1111s in the chat. Because again, I think there's a lot of spirits out there that would love to be here on Earth. But at the same time, some of them have voluntarily chosen to play the role of kind of like the messenger from outside. Maybe they've already been here before. Maybe now they're just like, okay, like I've done that, but now like I gotta take care of other things, but I'm still gonna be able to like assist from the outside. And so again, there's also, again, with this invitation to connect, it's not just aliens. Maybe it's your ancestors. Maybe your aliens are ancestors. Think about that one, right? So shout out to Grandpa Alien up there and Grandma Alien. But again, you know, like the invitation to connect could even be connecting simply with your higher self, connecting with your avatar, connecting with your God mind. So again, this is a card where, even though it doesn't specifically say it here, it could also be something where you're starting to tie in the awareness of synchronicities, where you're just like, dear universe, I am paying attention. Start talking to me. And the universe will be like, okay, sweet. here's some synchronicities, here's some ways to be able to help assist you and guide you. And maybe that's actually part of the ways of how the aliens communicate to us. They have the ability to kind of like influence the code of the matrix, where they can help steer us in subtle and often unseen ways, yet still ways that can be known to the heart and to the mind for those who have the eyes to see. Where you're kind of walking and you're just like, oh, I see that synchronicity. I'm going to go in that bookstore, you know? And then it kind of leads you through this rabbit hole type thing. And you're just like, was that from the aliens? Was it from my ancestors? I don't know. But my invitation and my permission for me to be able to receive it opened up that process for it to take place. It's kind of one of those things within life where it's like, those who do not believe in magic will not see it. So it's kind of like the thing where it's like, it's not, we're in this paradigm where before it used to be, you have to see it to believe it. But now we're in this period where it's, you have to believe it to see it, which is a big thing that's different. And honestly, I think that's a big thing even with aliens, with like UFO sightings. Daniel, have you ever seen a UFO? For anybody here, tell me if you've seen a UFO in the comments. I'll tell you my UFO story another time. It's fucking crazy as shit, man. But anyways, with that, you know, it's like kind of like, seeing a UFO is a very, very interesting and synchronistic and not an accident in a lot of cases. Usually, like, seeing a UFO can actually be like something that your soul agreed to be like an initiator element, to be able to be something that was like meant to kind of like awaken you within the dream, to kind of like get you thinking outside the code of the matrix, to be able to help you see more of what's actually happening here in a lot of ways. So again, it's kind of like, the aliens will appear to us in many forms. And again, just being able to even focus specifically on the dream space, I think, is one way to be able to do it. And this card's going to be different for other people. Some people, you know, they're just like, yo, sometimes I drop into a meditation and I channel. And that's like actually a form of me to be able to like bring forth like, you know, like messages. At the same time, literally for any of us, you know, like maybe if we're just like, yo, sometimes I just like get into a zone where I start making music. And it feels like that music is like coming from another dimension or something like that. And so that can be a way. Again, the invitation to connect isn't just connecting with aliens. I think it's just connecting with source consciousness and allowing ourselves to practice being conduits for that source consciousness with an open heart and with that intention to be able to allow what comes through to be that which will serve us, which will help us serve others, which will help us serve the world, which will help us to step more into our power and our abilities as creators and leaders within this holographic matrix. So this is a very, very, very cool card. Again, if you have been contemplating life beyond Earth, perhaps talking to the stars or gazing wistfully at other planets, if you have been intrigued by the mysterious codes of light and the sound you are sure are embedded in crop circles, or simply have a feeling that you would like to work with beings who are more spiritually evolved than humanity at present, then you are being given a clear message that with this oracle, there are beings in other worlds that are very aware of your open, loving attitude and the loving attitude and the work you are doing. They are actively responding to your thoughts and feelings. Since we live in a free will zone on Earth, you must extend an invitation to receive assistance. Because you are unafraid and resonate with a place of peaceful curiosity and higher leveling awareness, you're capable of issuing the needed invitation to those that can assist humanity from a place of unconditional love. So I think in a lot of ways, we just kind of imagine that, you know, like these aliens or whatever, they're like waiting for people to be able to be like, yo, I'm ready to work with you. Like, let's do this. Let's fucking do this together. All right, send me the codes, send me the inspiration, send me the dreams, and I'll help bring it forward. And they're just like, fuck yes, this is who we want to work with, right? So again, it's like kind of like, what does it mean for you to be an ambassador? You know, what does it mean for you to be an ambassador of higher conscious ideas? I think that's an incredibly, incredibly beautiful thing. And again, something where it just kind of like invites you to be open to more of the mystery of this world. So it's kind of like awakening to another level of your being. So this is a very, very cool card. Daniel, let me know how this resonates with you. Again, I feel like I could keep talking about this for like an hour, though I don't feel I need to keep talking about this for an hour in a lot of ways. But again, one thing I would just kind of remind is that for each and every single one of us who are receiving this card, to just kind of be reminded that yes, in any single given moment, you are loved and you are supported by beings beyond this dimension, by beings on other planets, by beings in higher dimensional realms. You are constantly seen, you're constantly being loved, you're constantly being supported, you're constantly being assisted. And your ability to be able to invite the invitation to assist from an open-hearted, grounded, and centered space will help you accelerate the way in which you evolve personally, that you evolve into your purpose, and that you can serve others within the community. So again, I think this is a cool thing where it's just knowing that this is an option, where it's like, okay, I'm working on things, and just be like, oh shit, man, I forgot to invite the aliens to help, you know? And maybe you don't need to invite the aliens to help all the time. Like, that's something that, like, for me, like, I feel like I understand that, where it's like, and even if it's not, you can think of it as guides, you can think of it as archangels and things like that. For me, I kind of have this way where it's like, yo, okay, I'm gonna focus on things, and you guys can kind of like assist from a distance, but like, I'll let you know when I kind of like really want to like open up the invitation. But until then, let me play this game as I am, you know, type thing. But if you're feeling like you're kind of in a place and like, and you're just like, okay, like today's a good day to just be able to open up to that invitation, allow yourself to feel that, allow yourself to just know that, again, that's an option. But not doing it from a place of neediness, not doing it from a place of greed, not doing it from a place of power, but just being able to do it from a place of service, where you're just like, okay, I'm opening up this invitation because I understand that the message they are going to bring through is a message that is not just for me, that is here to be able to help me step into more of who I am, and that is going to give me a little bit more clarity, direction, and amplitude towards the work that I'm doing for the world, in that sense. So again, don't just try and talk to aliens purely for the novelty. You could, but I think you're going to get more out of it, where you're just like, yo, aliens, like, I am fucking on my path. I'm here to rock it. I'm here to create awesome art. I'm here to inspire others. I'm here to awaken other people. I'm putting out the invitation. And if you guys feel that I am the person that you want to be able to work with, enter in through my dreams or show up through synchronicities. And oftentimes it could be very subtle. Sometimes it can be very blatant, very explicit in a lot of ways. But again, just being able to understand that even you putting out the invitation doesn't mean that something will show up. So this is also you kind of being able to put out the invitation with patience. So I think that's important to remind yourself, Daniel, is to not kind of like, because sometimes if the aliens are just like, yo, this guy's way too excited, like this guy wants this way too much, like, you know, like they want the person that's a little bit more humble, and the person who's like a little bit more just kind of like, again, centered and grounded. So when you feel like you're in that space, Daniel, maybe you'll know where it's just like, okay, I'm putting out the intention, I'm putting out the signal, and you just kind of send out the signal, and you're just like, okay, signal sent. And then you just go about your day without an expectation. That's one thing that's not even here within this card, but I'll just say this: put out the invitation without the expectation, right? If you're just like, oh, you're like, what the fuck, aliens? Like, I sent out the invitation and no one showed up. What the fuck? Fuck you, aliens. Like, what? Like, dude, maybe that's why they didn't show up, because they knew you're going to react that way. But if you're just like, okay, I understand that they're actually already here, that they're actually already present, that I'm actually already them, but I'm open to additional messages and miracles or something like that. And should I be the person to receive them, then I will be blessed in doing so. But until then, I am already focused enough on my path and supported enough in my path to be able to manage even without them. But should you feel I am an ambassador, and should you feel I am someone who can be of service, then yes, speak through me, come through my dreams, come through my creative work, whatever. So again, an invitation to connect. This is a very, very cool card. Daniel, thank you for dropping in those 1111s. Daniel saying thank you so much. Wolf, Daniel, thank you, dude, as well. Really appreciate it. I'm going to read the invocation here again. We could keep talking about this one for the rest of the broadcast, but I got to be mindful of my energy. And I think the message here has already been conveyed. At this point, I would just be repeating myself. Here's the invocation. As I read this, I want you to, again, just kind of imagine yourself reading this for everybody here. Imagine yourself like, this is like, imagine I'm your higher self saying this to you, and you're saying this to yourself. Invocation. As a member of the human race, through my own free will and for the greatest good, I call upon all beings that resonate with the quality of unconditional love and wish to assist humanity and Earth to evolve on the path of divine love. I ask for the unconditionally loving ascended masters that serve Christ consciousness to be the gateway through which the permission is confirmed for these beings to enter Earth's field and assist humanity according to divine will, grace, and love. May all beings be happy and free, so be it. And yeah, and again, I think that's the other thing where it's like you're not just like, hey, I'm open to talking to all the aliens. Like, instead, get very clear and very intentional. It's like, I'm here to talk to the aliens that are here to be able to help assist the world in a vibrational frequency that I myself am resonating with. So instead of just being like, yo, aliens, doors open, come on in and party, and then you got like these weird shadow beings and it's like, hey man, can I eat food out of your fridge? Nah. Like, that's a great impersonation, right? Instead, you want the people that are just like coming in and just like, yo, I'm here for the party. Let's fucking jam together and have an awesome time, right? That's who you want to invite. So make sure that you're like sending out the right invitation and the right beings will be able to show up as well. I'm just laughing at my own impersonation there. I feel like that's just like way too accurate. That's what some people are doing. They're just like letting in like weird beings and they're just like, oh shit, who invited this guy, right? And then they just don't leave and then they just hang out and just like, dude, the party was over 3 days ago. Like, why are you sitting on my couch smoking your bong that you brought? Like, come on, man. Like, get the fuck out of here, right? So anyways, but you keep the aliens that are around and then they'll come and go and they'll come back around when you invite them again and they'll respect your space. So that's who you want to work with. So send out the invitation for your party, for the cosmic party, and invite the cool aliens to show up and jam with you. That's what this card's about. So if this card resonates with you, drop an 11 and 11 in the chat. And yeah, please feel free to leave your comments there. An invitation to connect with the fucking mothership. There you go. Woo! That was a good one. Daniel, send me a direct message on Instagram or Facebook. I can send you the image for that card if you want to be able to check it out. For anybody else, I can send you the image for that card as well. All you gotta do is just send me a direct message. So, all right. That was a fun one. That was good. I like that one. So, that was funny. All right, team. It's getting late. I'll stick around for a little bit. I'm totally open to do another reading for another Patreon supporter. Again, if anybody on the Patreon wants to increase their pledge, please feel free to do that. Daniel, thank you for dropping in the 1111s. And again, Daniel, like, let me know, dude, if you feel like you're like looking to increase your pledge as you're involved and everything like that, let me know, dude. Like, because again, I'd love to be able to like have you on board as a leading member as well. Like, the $5, like, it gets you in the door, but, like, the $11 is, like, when, like, things start getting a little bit more exciting. So, yes. All right. No creeper aliens allowed. Yeah, Mark, exactly. So, hey, man, can I eat the food out of your fridge? You're like, dude, fuck off, man. All right, team. How many people do we got tuned in right now? Let's find out. We got about 10 people tuned in on YouTube. Got about 9 people tuned in on YouTube as well. So all right, team. Again, we'll hang out here for a little bit. I'm totally down to do one more reading if we have someone signed up in the next little bit. If you want to sign up in the future, that's totally cool. Again, Patreon processes contributions process on the 1st of each month. So you can sign up even at any time, and it won't go through until the 1st of each month. And again, just a reminder, everyone, like, your support is appreciated in all forms. I understand that not everyone is in a position to be able to sign up for the Patreon, but again, I want you to be able to understand that your support in your presence, literally just your presence, your likes, your comments, you just being able to like check out my stuff on a regular basis, it is appreciated. So thank you. So, all right, team, let's get our game on, boy. Step up your game, boy. It's like game boy. Anyways, all right, I'm getting tired. Obviously it's like kind of, you can tell I start getting like just like more like ridiculous when I get tired, obviously. Yeah, that was a good card. That was a fun card. Might have to repost that card. That was funny. Yeah, that card was very different. That card is like the only card that explicitly was talking about aliens. So there should be, I should get a tarot deck that's just purely an alien tarot deck. I feel like that's a thing. All right, team. So for those of you who are tuned in, we are going to be doing some excuse me, we can keep doing some more readings for those of you who are ready to sign up for the Patreon. For those of you who may just be joining here for the first time, excuse me, thank you for joining. I don't answer questions right from the chat. However, there's a lot of other readers out there that are happy to be able to help assist you in that format. I don't do like psychic and tarot reading, psychic and like fortune telling readings. Again, when we do our readings, it's more kind of like with the intention of like, show us what we need to see, and then to be able to have that intuition come through the cards as a conduit. And again, for those who are interested, you can support the work that I do on Patreon and also get a reading on air. We're working on getting 3 Patreon signups during this broadcast. I'm totally okay staying up and doing one more reading, and then being able to call it a night after that. Again, I want you to be able to sign up onto the Patreon, not just because you want a reading, but because you support the work that I do and the value that we are offering in return. Again, when you sign up onto the Patreon at the $11 level, you can get a super dope and beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, which I hand make for the community members. You can get a discount for the item shop. You can get access to me as a conscious media creation coach, which is worth over $200 a month. You can have access to a private community space for leading members within the Paradigm Shift Central community, where you can join on air for our broadcasts. And you can also join at higher tier levels for more discounts and for more of my one-on-one private coaching. Thanks, Beep on Twitch. Beep says, hello, have a great night and never let anyone get to you. Have a great stream. Bye. Thanks, Beep. That was a very kind comment, especially considering it was through Twitch. Usually the Twitch comments are just like the worst of the worst. But I appreciate them nonetheless. Thank you for helping me. Twitch comments. So, alright, team. Thank you again to our newest Patreon supporter, Daniel, to Christina, who also signed up tonight. Christina, if you're still here, please feel free to let us know. Excuse me. I'll stick around for a little bit, team. And again, if we do have another person sign up for the Patreon, we can do one more tarot reading at least. Help us reach our goal of 3 Patreon signups tonight. We currently got about 5 million people tuned into this broadcast. So I'd like to hope that out of all the 5 million people, one of you will please sign up for my Patreon so that I can afford throat lozenges. I'm just joking. There's probably about like 25 people tuned in right now, give or take. I'm gonna shut down the Instagram feed for the time being. I don't know, nobody's watching on there as it is right now, which is fine. So again, team, let me know if anybody here on the Patreon who's already signed up for the Patreon wants to increase their pledge. Please feel free to do that. Yo, I'm just sending you a voice message even though we're still live on air right now, and we just did a super hilarious tarot reading that was all about like talking to aliens, and it was funny. So I just wanted to be able to tell you that it was hilarious. It is. I don't know. It's late right now and I'm getting weird and goofy on air. So anyway, just letting you know, hi. I'm just sending a message to my friends, so they're not tuned in right now. But they're like they're all about aliens and stuff too. All right, team. All right. So again, team, what do you guys think? Let's send out the invitation and the intention for someone to be able to sign up for the Patreon literally within the next few minutes. And we can still do another reading on air. Yeah. the later the broadcasts get, the just like weird and goofier I get. You turn at the beginning and you're just like, hello, my name is Brendan Wolfshield, and I am here to help you awaken your inner light guardian. And then like later on in the broadcast, we're just like, dude, man, fucking aliens, like what the fuck, man, I just want to smoke DMT on a spaceship with aliens on my dream or something. Again, I honor the fact that I carry both in me. So, which honestly is like part of the reason why people are just like, Brendan, I like you. Like, you're not too serious. So, but at the same time, I can be like very serious. Very serious. So, all right. Augustine, I saw your comment. I'm just going to send you the image for that right now, actually. So, if anybody else wants the image for this card, go ahead and let me know. All right, team, let's get busy with another tarot reading. We've done 3 tarot readings tonight, and again, they've been good, man. Like, there's some good tarot readings tonight. There's some good messages that came through. Like, Christina's reading, like, yo, that was powerful, man. I think we made her cry. And I'm not saying that to embarrass her. Like, I'm literally just saying that as a way to be able to express the value of what it is that we're creating here. I take pride in helping make people cry. A lot of my content has actually like helped people cry, like in like good ways. Like that's actually something that I'm very, very proud of, to be able to create content that can be like so emotionally resonant that it will help people open up and cry. Okie dokie. Scooby bop bop boo 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 da ba ba ba. Scooby bop bop ba boo boo. Scooby bop bop boo boo. Yeah, just stay up late as I just do like scat on air until we get a new Patreon sign up. And if we don't get a new Patreon sign up within the next little bit, that's totally okay, team. It's getting late, and I'm gonna do my candle meditation and get ready, because we've only got 2 more dreams left until dream class for all the leading members. And FYI, for the leading members, I think what we may do is start doing our regular broadcasts on Wednesdays. I think that's what we're going to do, because I think it's just kind of a good time to be able to shift things up a bit. And I'd love to just be able to have my Sundays as a day where I can just kind of like not have to worry about preparing a broadcast. And I feel Wednesday would be a good day. So we're going to try that. We're going to try that this week, and then we're going to try doing that again as well. So live on air right now. All right, team. Thanks. Shuzazu says, you've made me cry in a good way with the guided meditation. Yes. I did it. I made Shuzazu cry. Life goal accomplished. I've made a lot of people cry. I've made myself cry during my guided meditations. Just be like, oh shit, this is so real. So, all right. Awesome. Ryder, thanks again for joining in. Ryder, you still have, you're still entitled to a reading since you signed up for the Patreon. Again, we can save that for a private reading sometime. And again, for anybody here, like, some people are signed up as leading members, but not all of you are like actively involved as leading members. So just a reminder that if you're a leading member, take advantage of the value there. You know, like, make sure that you're connecting through our team chat. Use me as a private media coach, conscious media creation coach. Join our broadcasts in terms of like the in terms of like the work periods that we do on Mondays. Oh, Christina, you're still here. Aw, Christina. Thank you, Christina. That's really, really cool. Christina was just expressing some gratitude through the chat for the reading that we did. Christina, I'm so glad that you're still here, and thank you for joining. Sweet, team. All right, team. Last call. Again, if anybody signed up for the Patreon, it's just like, yo, Brendan, let's do one more reading, and I'm going to increase my pledge. That's cool. Honestly, if someone signs up for like the $96 level on Patreon, I will pay you $20. That is my offer. Sign up for the $96 level and I will pay you $20. What? Sign up for the $96 level and I will give you a full set of the chakra, like a full chakra set for the Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals. That is an exclusive offer right now during this broadcast. Right now. And like that full set is like worth like over, like, yeah, it would be worth like almost like $500 for the full set, which is like 8 technically if I include the white. So it'd be like the 7 plus the white. So yeah, sign up for the $96 level, and just right now, like, this is not a regular thing. This is just like an on-air special bargain. Sign up at the $96 level on the Patreon, and I will send you the full chakra set of a Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, with the understanding that you would be continuing to sign up and keep that $96 pledge going. I know that's crazy, but hey, I believe in you. So, Daniel, thanks for your comment and feedback. Daniel said, I enjoyed that reading. Thanks everyone for being here too. Yeah, Daniel, I'm curious as to how that reading resonated with you. Like, if that's like, if you're just like, you know what, like actually like talking to aliens is like my jam, dude. You know, so whose isn't it? So I'm just gonna stay on air for the next bit and just entertain myself and anybody else who joins in. And again, if we do have another person signed up for the Patreon, let's do it. Let's do one more reading for all the people tuned in right now. But yeah, no, I think we're probably gonna wrap it up in the next little bit. I don't need to stay up too late, and I do want to be able to get a good sleep tonight. And again, I'll be back here tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow doing some more broadcasts. So all right, team. Oh yeah, I still haven't shared my alien abduction story. If someone signs up for the Patreon right now, I'll share my alien abduction story. That's one of the things that I'm waiting to create a video on. That's like one of the thousands of videos that I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a video of that. So once I get my studio apartment and get my production room set up, you can guarantee that that's gonna be one of the videos that I'm gonna make, 100%. All right. Aloha to everybody joining in. Melinda, thanks for dropping by, and I apologize that this was a waste of time for you. If you were here earlier, you would have been able to catch the various readings that we did, and if you'd like to be able to tune in again another time, then we'll do more additional readings at the start of the broadcast. Again, this is like the later end of the broadcast, so thank you for your feedback, and I appreciate you swinging by, and we'll do our best to make sure that we're not wasting people's time in the future. So, damn, those hard comments, they hit me, man. So, all right, team. Last call on any new Patreon signups before we wrap up the night. And thank you again, everyone, for joining in and for being here and for adding your supports. Again, this is more than just Patreon. This is more than just tarot readings. This is about being able to help support people, invite people to support on the Patreon, and being able to help build an awesome community of conscious creators and leaders. And yeah, after this, I'm gonna chill out for a bit, and then I'm probably gonna do a candle meditation. So, people are like, I want to hear that UFO story, Brendan. Oh, I'll tell you the UFO story once we reach 200 supporters on Patreon. So, no, seriously, I will, 100%. All right, team. All right, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap it up. I feel like we've definitely accomplished a lot with the readings that we've done, and I don't feel like anybody's about to sign up for the Patreon, but you can always sign up at a later time. And with that said, we'll wrap it up and we'll get ready to be able to call it a night. And I'll be back again for some more readings tomorrow. So we'll take this energy and we'll bring it into our motivation for tomorrow. Do more readings. Thank you again to our new Patreon signups during this broadcast, to Christina, looking forward to being able to connect more. And again, if Christina, if you're interested in more of like the private, like additional one-on-one coaching beyond just the conscious media coaching, let me know. And we can chat more about that if that's something you feel called to. And Daniel, thank you for your support on the Patreon as well, dude. Thank you for your support over the years. Super, super appreciated. Thank you all to the people in the comments, to the Patreon supporters already signed up for hanging out with us. For those of you on the Facebook broadcasts. And yeah, for those of you who may be watching this in the future as well, really, really appreciate it. So with that said, everyone, we're going to wrap up this broadcast. I'm going to go take it easy, put my feet up, and call it a night, and we'll be back again tomorrow. So until next time, as always, thank you so much. Connect on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man. Subscribe at youtube.com/SkullBabylon. Check out the Patreon when you can to be able to learn more about the work I do and how you can support it and be involved. Let me know if you have any questions. Tune in for future broadcasts. And as always, keep it shifty, and I will see you in the future. Ended with a wolf howl. Thanks for having fun tonight, everyone. Sweet dreams, and yeah, dream class this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Be there. All right. Much love, everyone. Thank you again for your support. Go team.